Apartment buildings seen splitting apart, leaving clouds of dust and rubble.
It is primary day across 6 states, including Minnesota. The state secretary's office says more than 241,000 voters cast ballots ahead of Election Day, the highest number, the office says, of early votes cast ahead of a primary in any presidential year. In South Carolina, Republican voters casting ballots for the second time in 2 months on who will replace the late Senator Lindsey Graham after his death in July. Graham's sister Darlene Graham, appointed by the Senate to finish out his term, which ends in January. She's running in the GOP primary for the full-term seat. Severe storms taking aim at the Midwest and portions of the East Coast today. ABC News meteorologist Samara Theodore says many areas are under flood warnings.
That spans from Chicago to Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Charleston, West Virginia, right on into the D.C. metro area. And this is through this evening with some of the heavier rain arriving in the next couple of hours in parts of Virginia and North Carolina.
Earlier today, a tornado warning forcing workers at Air Traffic Control Tower at Midway Airport in Chicago to evacuate and causing ground stops in place. A U.S. Marine on a flight back to America after his release from a Russian prison. Robert Gilman was detained for more than 4 years on disputed charges. According to the group advocating for his release, Gilman is gravely ill and suffered years of abuse. You're listening to ABC News.
I'm not one to say.
Good afternoon. At 3:03, we have 94 degrees under a partly sunny sky. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News. A former North County Police Cooperative officer has admitted to sexually abusing 18 men in his custody. Marcellus Blackwell entered a guilty plea to 18 counts of deprivation of rights under color of law in federal court yesterday. The investigation began in June 2023 when one of Blackwell's victims contacted the North County Police Cooperative. As additional victims came forward, the FBI took over the investigation. Students in the Cahokia School District will report to a brand new high school this academic year. The new Cahokia Heights High School is nearly 200,000 square feet. It includes 60 classrooms, science and business labs, and spaces for arts, agriculture, and career training. The new school also includes modern security features, and the gym can double as a tornado shelter. Governor Mike Kehoe is making an urgent call for Missourians to address the critical blood supply shortage in the state.
Right now, hospitals across our state and region are facing a critical blood shortage. Blood that patients across Missouri rely on for surgeries, emergencies, cancer treatments, and so much more. The good news is that helping is simple. If you're able, please donate at your local American Red Cross or community blood center. One donation can save multiple lives, and it's one of the most meaningful ways we can take care of our neighbors.
Impact Life will be hosting multiple blood drives in our region in the coming weeks. A list of those blood drives is available online at bloodcenter.org. The St. Louis County Planning Commission is considering new zoning regulations that would establish guidelines for building and operating data centers in unincorporated parts of the county. The proposed draft recommendations would define data centers in the county's zoning ordinance for the first time and regulate facilities through a 4-tier classification system based on physical size and energy demands. The Planning Department is scheduled to present an updated set of recommendations during the Planning Commission's executive meeting on September 14th. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Taking a look at the markets brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune into Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P all closed down today. The Dow off 183 points to 53,792. The NASDAQ down 160 points to 26,445. And the S&P down 25 points to 77.28. Time now to check sports and traffic. We say hello to Paul Kopsky.
Hello, Vicky. The Cardinals are back in action in Game 2 of a 3-game series with Philadelphia at Busch tonight. Andre Palante gets the start. The Birds fell back below 500 with last night's loss and are 4.5 games behind the Phils in the NL wildcard race. And former Cardinals outfielder Nelson Velasquez has been claimed off waivers by the Houston Astros. Velasquez was designated for assignment on Saturday by the Redbirds upon Everson Pereira's arrival. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. 5570 west is slow between 255 and Illinois 111, and the ramp from 270 south to westbound Manchester is closed for repairs until Friday. From the John Beal Roofing Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Checking the weather, currently 94 degrees. We have a heat index of 104. An extreme heat warning is in effect until 8 o'clock Wednesday night. Tonight, we'll have a partly cloudy sky with an overnight low in the upper 70s. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 95, a heat index near 110. Currently, it is partly sunny, 94 degrees. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News.
Hey Illinois, this is Ben Barnett, board-certified master arborist and owner at Timberline Professional Tree Care. Sorry, St. Louis, this message is for our friends in the Metro East. Did you know that most Missouri-based tree contractors can't legally travel into Illinois? This is due to federal motor carrier regulations that require large trucks and their drivers to be registered with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration in order to travel across state lines. Almost all other tree services in Missouri fail to meet the requirements for safety, drug and alcohol testing, and equipment maintenance that are required for interstate travel. Here at Timberline, we meet and exceed all of these requirements and would be glad to travel across the river to meet all of your tree care needs. Call us today at 636-479-7475 for tree fertilization, pruning, insect and disease treatment, or complete removal. Or visit our website at stltreecare.com. That's stltreecare.com for service in the Metro East area.
Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
As we enter into the summer months, you might be thinking windows and doors. Yeah, and where are you going to go? You have lots of options when it comes to windows and doors. Let me tell you about a St. Louis company that everybody should know about. It's called WSWindow.net. It's run by Larry Thornton and his son, Joe. And they've been selling windows and doors in St. Louis for 38 years. They do most of their work with a handshake and a smile. There is no high-pressure sales. There is no jacking up the prices and then try and bring you down as they demand some type of signature on the dotted line. They'll shake your hand and say, "We hope to hear from you." And they have been successful. They beat the big boys at their games for all these many years because they do it right. They have long-time installers, long-time employees. The Window Store. If you need windows, if you need doors, you want a great price, and you want to keep it in the St. Louis family. That's Larry and Joe Thornton. The Window Store. WSWindow.net. WSWindow.net.
What have we learned about Heidi?
But cockroaches were the least of her problems. Heidi had to fight for every opportunity.
You know, Heidi is, even though she's very kind of sweet and innocent,
Heidi wanted out of the slum, and her agent wasn't doing enough.
Oh my God, they moved Heidi right next to me now.
Although Heidi seems serene,
she's a bit naughty.
She uses an ancient folk remedy to help calm her down.
Heidi is back.
It is a warm one. I hope you are indoors with the AC cranked and ready to hang with us for the next 3 hours. Heidi Glaus here with Josh Gilbert, Bob Ramsey, and we've got a lot to get to. First up, we're going to talk to the author of The Women in White. Sarah Pekkanen is appearing tonight at the Clark Family Branch. She has written, 9, 12 books. She is a best-selling author. I'm so excited to have her joining us. This book has been named one of the most anticipated books of summer. New York Times said that everyone is going to be reading this book. So we'll talk to her here in a couple of minutes. We'll also check in with Don Mahalik, ABC law enforcement contributor and former Secret Service agent. You've probably seen this story now about President Trump actually boarding Air Force One, but I guess then going right through the plane and getting onto a food truck and then getting onto another plane. So we'll kind of find out how often this happens. And is there always a plan like this in place just in case? It seems like a spy movie.
Yeah. This is a while. At first, I thought it was like, the waiter with the apron and the cart that he pushes.
Oh, he's down under the
down
cart.
under below, and on top it's the
That's funny.
What is that silver server thing with the big dome on top? Does that have a name? Does that thing have a name?
Silver server thing with
I was
the
going to
dome
say
on
a
top.
platter.
The platter with a big dome on top?
Yes, a silver platter is what I think that is called. But yeah, it's very interesting. In the 4 o'clock, we will check in with Erik Siemers, the editor of the Business Journal, and a couple of stories that they're working on, including the Blues choosing not to offer free games on TV, or maybe not all of them, but we'll find out what's going on here. We'll also check in with Alex Stone because California lawmakers are calling for an end to betting on wildfires. I didn't even know you could bet, and that seems ridiculous to me in the first place.
Josh, thoughts?
Thank you.
Guys.
Have you ever bet on a wildfire?
No, I am not that bad. And this is all part of that Kalshi stuff where you can bet on the outcome of things, prediction markets. This is in the same vein as betting on the collapse of Venezuela, betting on the assassination of the leader of Iran. This is stuff that they want to outlaw because it's really gauche. Is gauche a word for this?
It is a word, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
just
untoward.
It's very inappropriate, right?
I think a lot of what Kalshi does is inappropriate, and I don't know why it's allowed, but that's...
You know what? It's almost like a dead pool.
It's a death pool. Yes. I was going to say it's like betting on who gets, which famous person gets cancer next. It's just... Maybe
I'll make my own dead pool and put you on it.
Oh, boy. Is that Clint
Nixon?
Eastwood? Is that Clint Eastwood?
It's Nixon.
But yeah, it's just, it's inappropriate, right?
Yeah, very.
And I want to ask Alex, can anybody create their own market? Like, can I say, who on the Heidi Glaus show is going to
be sick next?
Be sick next.
Josh.
Yes. And it's you.
I was going to say that's 100%.
Right.
So it's an easy bet.
Can you create your own bet?
You create your
That's
own bet?
probably the way it needs to be regulated. You can't create your own bet, your own betting market over which you have influence.
You have influence. But I think that what separates Kalshi from a sports gambling site, because we've seen all the reports that say 95% of all markets on Kalshi are on sports.
But
I would like to know, and this is for you guys on the text line, the new 84126 KTRS text line. Do you even know what Kalshi is? Do you care about Kalshi in these markets? Because I had no idea what they were until Josh started talking about them.
Right. And why it's come up again, if like most of us of a certain age, you're not even aware of what it is,
right?
That the fear that betting on fires, I bet on a fire, I'll go start one.
Right.
And that's a problem in California.
Gosh. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Influencing the bets.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was the whole thing that we're talking about.
I didn't even think. I just thought it was inappropriate because people are losing their houses.
They just arrested a guy for doing it on purpose. I thought that was what this whole story was about.
And what is it about a wildfire? Another question for Alex Stone. Are most of them started by people
I don't think
are
so.
they naturally occurring?
I don't think most,
Yeah.
but based on reports, it seems like more and more arson is involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the guy last year got arrested. The guy up in Oregon
As they should.
is getting arrested right
So
now.
many people have lost their homes. It's just an awful situation. Not only do I not know what it is, I will never bet on anything somebody says about Kalshi. Yeah, I want to hear from you guys on the text line 84126.
And I only care about it in the sense that it's getting away with something, much like the gambling machines at the bars and restaurants and gas stations. They were skirting the issue. They were operating illegally and not paying taxes. So if you regulated them, then at least they would be, governed and sanctioned or
I always
whatever.
thought you were for those. You're against those.
I'm against them being unregulated. If I have to pay taxes, then shouldn't they as well? But as far as Kalshi goes, they're allowed to be a gambling site without having to have any gambling oversight.
Yeah. I had no idea what these markets were.
Yeah.
Is there more than one, or does Kalshi hold the, crown when it comes to this?
There's something called Poly Market,
Okay.
which is another one of
I
these
think I just
companies.
thought Poly Market was like Facebook Marketplace. When I saw, I really had no idea what it was. Am I alone, you guys, on the text line 84126?
Oh.
In the 5 o'clock, it's just an open hour. We want to know what you want to talk about in the 5 o'clock hour. So make a suggestion on that as well. Did you see the Powerball jackpot?
No.
It's now at $1 billion. Speaking of gambling,
Did it tip?
it tipped again.
Okay.
And so the last time Powerball jackpot passed the 1 billion mark was in December when it went to $1.8 billion. That prize was won on Christmas Eve. Can you imagine how awesome that Christmas
Merry
was?
Christmas.
But the prize surged after last night's drawing failed to produce any grand prize winners. There have been 44 consecutive drawings without a jackpot winner. With the last winners from Texas and Florida splitting a $20 million prize back in May. The next Powerball drawing is tomorrow. Josh, it's your birthday tomorrow. Maybe you buy a ticket
Oh my gosh.
and it's your lucky day.
Oh my gosh. $1 billion birthday.
Yeah.
Right?
Could be yours.
It's time. Pull the trigger.
Holy cow. I'm turning 45
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow. So if I win, I will give you each $45
Whoa.
Fair enough.
if I win. Mark my words. Mark the tape.
Yep. $45. Hey, let's talk a little food real quickly. And this one really confuses me. And I was telling Josh back in the office, I'd like to get somebody on in the business world because for the first time in more than 15 years, 7-Up is changing its recipe.
Ooh.
They say the new version will be hitting stores soon. It will no longer be a lemon lime soda. Instead, it will be a lime lemon soda.
Oh, come on.
What is the difference? Is this like the new Coke? And we all know how awful that went. It was a disaster and is often used as the example of what not to do
And the story doesn't say the difference.
in marketing. They're treating the formula to be more lime forward, so you will taste that first.
And they said that the lime forward version blind taste test, they got better feedback.
Yeah.
I always
On a
thought the
lemon.
lime came through more anyway.
They
But I don't drink 7-Up. So.
I don't
I don't
necessarily
either.
think when I drink white soda that I'm drinking lemon lime
No.
soda. It just
I agree.
tastes like white soda.
Well, the company says by giving lime the spotlight, we're delivering a more refreshing taste experience. I don't
I kind of
know.
like lemon.
I
Social
kind of like
media
lime.
influencers are saying that it's a very subtle change, and even trying them back to back, you might not really notice. So maybe it's just all there to,
Get some attention.
Well, it's probably marketing 101. That's really all New Coke was. Bad marketing.
It was
actually.
awful marketing.
Yeah. But Sierra Mist.
And I think they did change the formula
Yeah.
for New Coke. It was more than that.
I would love to taste New Coke and Coca-Cola Classic back to back and see what the difference is. If it's markedly different.
I felt like it was,
I
but
do
if you did
too.
it back to back, I'm not sure what notes would ring true in one versus the other.
Is New Coke still around? Or did it?
Yeah, can you get it somewhere?
I thought it went away.
Like Pepsi re-released Crystal Clear Pepsi a couple years ago. Why don't they throw New Coke out there and just say, hey, remember this?
Because it scarred everybody that was involved. I mean, it really is a disaster.
It was terrible.
Yeah. I mean, it honestly, in every single thing that I like, it is always the forefront of what not to do when we would have different seminars in TV when it came to marketing and writing. It was the example of
kind of funny.
Awful.
Well, it's been 40 years. I think they could throw it out there, maybe a Super Bowl commercial, and they say, it's been 40 years since New Coke. Was it really that bad? Try some today and let us know.
So what's the goal?
Yeah.
The goal is to get people to go out and buy soda, whether it's Coca-Cola or New Coke or whatever. The goal with changing 7-Up is to get more people to buy soda.
But 7-Up hasn't flopped yet. New Coke already flopped. You don't go back to the well that flopped.
Well,
unless you could make a joke on yourself, and that might get people buying just more Coke generally.
Right. And
that could be funny.
Yes, but I don't think you bring back new Coke, and I don't think you spend millions of dollars on an ad campaign.
Well, I think as a novelty, it would be fun. But we can all probably agree that Sprite has cornered the market on lemon lime soda.
I never drink lemon lime soda.
You never drink white soda?
Never.
Well,
never.
I would think Sprite has.
I think
stranglehold.
when Jen or her friends go and get a drink with white soda, they say Sprite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Sprite is
Sprite
the
and
Coke.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not a mixed
Somebody
drink guy.
just said, only way white soda is any good is with whiskey in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tarantula Andrew, I won't taste any different after you put some Seagrams in it. So everybody seems to use a white soda for something very specific.
But Sierra Mist recently, that's Pepsi's version, they switched their name to Starry.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
I didn't even know that.
So I think 7-Up and the Sierra Mist people are realizing they've got to do something because Sprite is just running away with it.
Maybe.
That's my impression of this.
All right, here's another.
Was 7-Up founded in St. Louis, though? There's St. Louis ties to 7-Up.
I think somebody wrote the recipe here, but I do not know.
Yeah. And I can't find out because the last time I looked this up, you kind of run into a dead end.
No, I think it says it somewhere. I thought there was a connection.
Launch a St. Louis-based company in 1920.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got through the brick wall?
But
Charlie did.
But then what happened to it? That's my brick wall, is what happened
There's a
between
book about
1920 and now.
There's definitely a book. Speaking of some of those brands, Domino's has introduced its first ever personal pan pizza.
I'm surprised.
I
never thought about it, but
yeah,
you would have assumed.
And I don't think that I ever realized that Domino's is a Detroit style pizza.
Their pan pizza is Detroit style.
I did not know that.
The regular pizza is just
pizza.
Okay.
Kind of generic pizza.
Yeah. Original
anyway,
hand tossed.
That's launching nationwide August 31st. It's shaped like the brand's logo and cut into 2 slices with a Parmesan Detroit style crust and 2 layers of cheese. And then you can add whatever sauce you want and up to 3 toppings. And of course, it's drizzled with that garlic seasoning.
Yeah, it's probably okay. I think we've talked about it before. Years ago, Domino's was a joke. And it was like, why would I ever touch that? But in the last, decade, they kind of revamped. And it's actually,
not
for
bad.
fast food pizza, it's not bad.
Well, they put out a commercial that said, hey, we've heard from you.
Yeah.
And we realized our pizza stinks, and
they made it better.
And they just kind of came out with it. I've always liked it, but maybe that's just me. My wife hates it. When she goes out of town,
you eat Domino's?
Domino's night.
Somebody said, yes, the 7-Up fortune started here. We know the family well.
Are they still here? Where'd they go? What happened?
And then one more food story for you. If you like hot dogs and you have a specific name, you can actually get a free hot dog tomorrow. So Steve's Hot Dogs is going to offer anyone with the name Steve, Stevens, or Stephanie a free hot dog tomorrow in honor of founder Steve Ewing's birthday. To
That's
claim
kinda fun.
the birthday freebie, you have to show a valid photo ID confirming your name. The promotion is running at all the Steve Hot Dogs locations during normal business hours. So
tomorrow?
Wednesday, yeah.
Steve's birthday is my birthday.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
If your name is Stephanie Stevens, do you get 2 hot dogs?
You know what? I bet they'd probably do it.
They
They're pretty
probably
good
would.
crew over there. Now, I wouldn't say that Jeff Zufall gives you money, but I will say this. He can definitely help you keep what is yours. Now, Josh has been telling you about Jeff for ages. He's the senior tax strategist and wealth advisor with Capital Advisory Group. And now we're going to do a new monthly feature here on the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh and Bob. It's going to be called The Wealth Zone. And what we're going to do is once a month, Jeff is going to be joining us, and we're going to discuss all things financial, especially how your tax strategy is at the core of your wealth plan. Because I think a lot of people, maybe they meet with their, money man, but their money man isn't always their tax man. Well, Jeff can help you with all of that. He's the author of 2 #1 bestsellers, Keep What's Yours, and his newest book, Keeping What's Yours. And I think what I love and what Josh loves, and I think now Bob, because he recently went out there, when you stop by Capital Advisory, I mean, every person is so kind and they know everybody's name. It's just like this small business that can do big things. So starting, I don't know, next Monday maybe? Josh, do you know when we're actually starting it?
I'm not sure when we're starting it.
Okay. We're going to be joined by Jeff, and it'll be on a specific Monday for the Wealth Zone, and I hope you will join us to learn a little something. Of course, every Saturday at 3, you can listen to Keeps What's Yours with Jeff Zufall and Josh Gilbert right here on the Big 550. And you can also just call Jeff and his team at Capital Advisory Group at 636-394-5524. You don't have to wait for him to join our show. Meet with him now, 636-394-5524. You can also check them out online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They can send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Are you looking for a deck? I am. And you know who I turn to? Outdoor Living and Pat Leahy. They've been a sponsor for a long time, and they've done some other projects for me, but this one's the big one. It's going to have metal framing, composite decking, and when it's all said and done, he's going to put a 50-year warranty on it. Not because I'm his spokesperson for all these years, but because I am a customer. Outdoor Living takes care of St. Louis. So if you're looking for a deck that will survive the heat and the winter and the sun and everything else, Outdoor Living, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. Outdoor Living or OutdoorLivingInc.com.
We have a huge responsibility to raise and educate our children. Let's give our children a solid foundation for tomorrow by teaching them to say yes to life, and education by saying no to drugs and alcohol. This message courtesy of Accurate Mechanical Contractors, proudly serving the greater St. Louis area for over 21 years. They're currently hiring energetic pipe fitters and more. Call 314-291-4336. That's 314-291-4336. Accurate Mechanical Contractors is on the air because they care.
Repairing chimneys, walkways, porches, foundations, entire homes, anything to do with brick or stone, you need a tuck pointer you can trust, and that, of course, is Morelli. Morelli's a family-run business, started in 1991, and they're only as good as their last customer. That's why when you check out the reviews online at MorelliTuckPointing.com, you'll notice that they're actual customers who are singing the praises of Morelli. So if you need a tuck pointer, you need Morelli. 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option. Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option. Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Tune in weekly to the Frank and Jill Show to catch the new Illegal Eagle segment featuring renowned attorney Travis Noble of Travis Noble Attorneys at Law.
Every week, Travis will join the show for an entertaining segment focusing on legal stories
And news right here on the Big 550.
Mom, what do you always say? There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer. That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newsetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
It is 3:31, and I am happy to report that we have a new sponsor for our traffic center. It is now the John Beal Roofing Traffic Center, and that's where we find Captain Paul Kopsky.
Heidi, an accident on 270 North at 70 is blocking the two right lanes and causing stop-and-go traffic back to Dorset. There's a stalled vehicle on 170 North past Airport Road with a stop-and-go back up to Scudder and Hanley. 5570 West is slow between 255 and Illinois 111. 64 East is congested between Illinois 157 and 159. And a reminder that the ramp from 270 South to westbound Manchester is closed for repairs until Friday. From the John Beal Roofing Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
The Frank and Jill Show.
Jill Farmer here on Wednesday's show. Sarah Fensky with some breaking news from St. Louis Magazine. Plus, Greg Willard is in the house, KTRS legal analyst, with some very interesting information about things happening in the courts.
Frank Cusimano and Jill Farmer, weekdays 10 to noon, right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis. Now it's time for the KTRS Book Club.
It's called reading. Top to bottom, left to right. Group words together as a sentence.
Powered each week by the St. Louis County Library on the Big 550.
Well, you see, I spell them like they sound, you know.
KTRS.
Number one best-selling suspense author Sarah Pekkanen will be at the Clark Family Branch of the St. Louis County Library to discuss her new book, The Women in White. But she was kind enough to stop by and talk to us first. Thanks for making time for us. This is such an honor.
Oh, I'm so thrilled. Are you kidding? This is great.
Okay, so before we talk about your new book, I just want to say how much I love your bio because you wrote it like a story, and I don't know why more authors don't do it that way.
Well, you know, I had to include my letter to editors, and I wrote when I was maybe 8, when I was trying to get them to buy my book, Miscellaneous Tales and Poems. And I did write it on Raggedy Ann stationery. So it's not the most professional bio, but I think it gives you a little insight into my passion.
So you knew you wanted to be an author from birth.
I knew from the minute I could talk that I wanted to write. And that got me into a lot of trouble at school because I made up stories in my head all the time. I don't even know how I passed any grade at all because I have huge gaps of knowledge that are missing in my brain, but I got a lot of stories knocking in around there.
It isn't great. It's a gift and a curse sometimes. As you point out, I always wanted to be a sportscaster. Yeah. And while class is going on, there are baseball games and other things going on in your head. But if you follow your dream and work at it, you can get there.
Absolutely. And my dad always used to tell me, do something you love and you'll never really work a day in your life. I'm not sure that's true. I think we all work, but it's good work, right?
Yeah. I got to say, this book has been named one of the most anticipated books of summer. New York Times said everybody is going to be reading it. How does that feel? I mean, before it's even in the hands of readers.
Incredible. It gives me chills because, you know, having people enjoy my book, getting to give them an escape. You know, I'm writing something that I want you to dive into. There are short chapters. There's lots of action. I want it to be a mini vacation for you. So the fact that the early response from readers and reviews have been good tells me I did my job.
Absolutely. Well, the story revolves around a decades-old mystery with paranormal elements. Does this completely come from your imagination? Do you take bits and pieces of news stories? And how does it all come together?
Okay, Heidi, you're not going to believe this.
Okay.
There was a department at Duke University, the Duke in Durham, North Carolina, a department of parapsychology that existed from the 1930s until the 1960s. Duke was determined to prove ESP exists, and they did experiments on hundreds of thousands of volunteers.
You are kidding me.
Nope.
So I'm fascinated by this subject matter. Stranger Things kind of did it. Did you watch that series?
I did watch it, and guess what? The writers for Stranger Things happen to live very close to Duke University.
So your book focuses on women who have this extrasensory power, and they're studied, and then what happens to them, all these years later. I love the 1960s Cold War aesthetic. A 1960s hospital seems like the creepiest place to me
I
in
agree.
the world. And then you add the paranormal stuff on top of it. This is my wheelhouse.
Awesome. I'm glad I hit everything for you. And we do have some of the fun of the 1960s, the 5 o'clock martinis, the kind of Mad Men sensibility. But part of my book is set in that time when these 4 young women who are all, 19 to 22 are experimented on because they all have special gifts. They all disappeared the same day in 1964. And then the other part of my book is told from the point of view of a young woman divorced, down on her luck, who becomes a caretaker for a very mysterious older woman who's living a very secluded life. She's the only one left of the 4.
So writing a dual timeline book, is it something you've done before, or what led you to that, and how difficult was it?
I've done it before, but I've never done that big of a time span. So the thing about the 1960s is that luckily we have things online now. So I could go, first of all, I did go back to the Rhine Research Center in Durham, North Carolina, and I dug through all the old Duke files, which was, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
Is it really creepy?
It was incredible. Some of these stories, and the thing is, whether or not you believe in ESP, a lot of people are on the fence. It's about 50-50. Almost everybody I know has that one story. Either they have or somebody they know. And there's a big effort to continue to study this. Right now at UVA, they have, within the School of Medicine, a whole branch devoted to collecting the recollections of young kids who claim to have past lives and who have somewhat credible claims. So I wove in like these real facts and nuggets within the book. And I have a big appendix with all, there's a woman who has been used by law enforcement 4,000 times to solve cases.
Ooh.
There was an astronaut on Apollo 14 who did ESP tests with volunteers on Earth, unbeknownst to NASA. There's a lot of this in our history. So that's really fun.
You went to Duke to do this research. Were there certain files that you weren't allowed to get into?
If there were, they didn't tell me. So this is a Rhine Research Center, which is kind of carrying on the work of Duke on a smaller scale. And they had huge libraries with volumes about other experiments that have been done throughout the world, photographs, files. They tested my ESP. It is a really cool place, and they could not have been more welcoming.
How'd you do on the test?
I'm a wee bit psychic, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, which my friends always tell me they think I am. So
What are the Powerball numbers tonight? So Duke is a private university. Did they work with the CIA or the federal government on any of this stuff?
I'm not sure about Duke, but I do know a lot of universities actually administered LSD to volunteers without telling them.
Wow.
So there's a lot of stuff that have gone
To try
that
to
has
tap
gone on.
into people's brains.
Yes.
What it does.
Yeah.
It is so fascinating. We're talking to #1 best-selling suspense author Sarah Pekkanen, who is going to be at the Clark Family Branch tonight to discuss her newest book, The Women in White. You've also co-authored several books. Which do you prefer? Is it weird co-writing when you can obviously do this all by yourself?
I love both. I love a creative challenge. So I've co-authored thrillers. I've written solo thrillers. I wrote co-authored a screenplay. I've written some TV pilots, short stories. As long as it's writing, I'm happy. Just storytelling.
Is writing hard for you?
So here's the thing. I think a lot of people, and I do teach and talk to a lot of writers, it's a getting started and that kind of voice in our head saying it's not any good. You can't listen to that pack of mean girls in your head. You've got to get the words down. Then you can play with them, you can edit them, you can shape them, but your biggest enemy is a blank page.
What is your do you have a method that you go, do you always start at the beginning and end, or do you write the middle and then come up with the beginning and end?
I usually go from the beginning, but then I can write out of order. Yeah. And my motivation is that my publisher is depending on me. They have given me a contract. There are a lot of people waiting for the book to get in by a deadline, to then design the cover, get it out in the hands of readers. So it really is a job. If I waited for my muse, that would be it.
Yeah. If you're writing and you're in the middle of something and then you come up with a storyline or a plot device or a car that may or may not have existed in the 1960s, do you stop what you're doing and then go look it up and see? Or do you just keep writing and then after the fact go back and then do all your edits afterwards?
If it's something small and specific, like what kind of car, one of my characters is a woman named Kathleen. She's a flight attendant. Back in 1964, you could only be a flight attendant until you were 27 or married. You would get weighed every week. You had to wear heels. I mean, there was this crazy long list of requirements.
Know you had to be weighed.
If you gained a few pounds, that's it. You're grounded. If you have a bruise on your leg, you can't fly. But so Kathleen, I'm like, what kind of car would she drive? So that I just put car TK. And then I would come back to that.
Oh, so cool.
Turns out she drove a Sunbeam Tiger convertible, red, with her little cutout driving gloves.
Oh, nice.
Bob, do you remember that?
I had a couple. And so you talked about getting that contract. So you always wanted to write. What was the first thing you got published? And what was that moment where you knew you were getting feedback and people were reading your stuff?
Oh my gosh. Well, I always believe in pulling back the curtain because I think sometimes people think, it's easy. It's easy for them. It was not easy for me. I spent 3 years writing my first book. I told everybody I knew. It was turned down by every publisher in New York. I spent 2 years writing my next book. I didn't tell as many people then, but that one got published. And I used to go to bookstores and clear away a space alphabetically where my book would be someday. I just believed and believed. And when it finally came out, it was unreal. It still is to me that this is happening and that I am publishing books.
When you turn in a manuscript and the editors get a hold of it, what do they do with it?
I have a brilliant editor. She's also the publisher and president of St. Martin's Press. She edits Kristen Hanna, Sally Hepworth. So she knows what she is doing. So she and I talk about the idea. Then I go off and write it. And then she gets back to me with her notes and she will catch things, sometimes small things like you've used this word. Apparently she froze too many times, go through and change that. And then she'll get back with the big macro stuff. Like, I think that, if you shift this and this around. So she's really smart. I get a long edit note from her.
You have to trust each other, don't you?
Absolutely.
Is it like filming a movie where you look at dailies or do you give her the whole thing at once?
Whole thing at once because it changes as I write it. And because she, the thing about editors, they're not just sitting in their office reading all day. I kind of imagine they were. They are in meetings all day with the sales force. They're doing a billion things. My editor only reads on weekends and late at night.
Oh,
wow. So besides your editor, who's the first person you give your book to for the first time and you care truly what they're going to say?
My agent is one of my very first readers. She's a sharp reader. And so she will get back to me with her notes. I have a handful of beta readers, including somebody you'd never expect. Nafisa Collier,
I love that. She's from St. Louis.
She's from St. Louis.
Yes.
No wonder I like her.
Yeah.
No, she's great. So she on Instagram was reading one of my books, posted about it, said, I think I'll do a book club about it. I said, hey, I'm happy to join. We became friends. That woman is so smart.
Oh, she's amazing.
She's in the locker room reading her books right before she goes out and plays. She's caught errors in mine before they've gone to press.
She has.
She's so good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So she's a great beta
so
reader.
much. Somebody just said, I love this interview. Can't wait to read the book. You all sound so enthralled with her. We are. I mean, this is the way we do things. So how quickly are you then focused on your next book when you're out promoting, the newest book?
My next book is done. I've already turned it in. I turn them in a year in advance. The Night Nanny will be out next year.
I'm already creeped out.
What about your next book?
That one I came up with an idea for yesterday. I'm talking to my agent Thursday and my editor next week about
What
it.
were you doing when you came up with this idea?
I wake up in the morning. My brain is fresh. I haven't gotten any emails. I have 3 boys. Nobody's bugged me for anything. I wake up really early, sometimes 4 or 5. I get coffee. I take my needy little rescue dog. I go to my couch and I just start dreaming. What if? What are things I've read, heard? I have a file, a what if file on my computer, and I just start looking at things.
Oh,
That's
it's
great.
so fascinating. If somebody's going to start with your books, is there a certain one that you say, read this one first? Or just pick up any of, the Sarah Pekkanen books and go?
Any of them. They're all standalone.
Yeah.
So maybe The Women in White, because that one's out now. And, we've been talking about that one, but any of them.
All right. Well, you can hear more from Sarah tonight at 7 at the Clark Family Branch. The Women in White is now on store shelves. Thank you so much for this fun interview.
I loved it. You guys are awesome. Thank you for having me.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
We talk to you, but you can always talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. Call 314-931-5877 and have a conversation with the St. Louis names you know and the St. Louis voices you trust, all on your locally owned hometown radio station. We are KTRS. Depend on it.
As summer winds down, vacations come to an end, the kids head back to school, and schedules ramp up, let Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant do the cooking for you. So whether it's the start of a busy day, come grab a great breakfast, the best in St. Louis according to the Post-Dispatch, or wrapping things up after a long day, let Gingham's serve you a terrific home-style dinner. And don't forget our fabulous desserts. We're open 24 hours a day, so no matter when you need us, Gingham's is open and ready to serve you. Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant in St. Charles, 636-946-0266, or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
Hi, everybody. McGraw Millhaven here for family-owned and family-operated Lisi Lumber since 1872. Lisi Lumber is now producing and delivering custom kits for pre-assembled trestles, pavilions, and pergolas made to your specifications. Union-made, union-delivered, homeowners and do-it-yourselfers, you're going to love this. Got an idea? Send them a sketch and some dimensions, and they'll do the rest. For the best woods and pre-assembled hardscapes, call Lisi Lumber at 618-234-0105 or LisiLumber.com.
If it's time to replace your windows and doors, choose Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis. Pella's trusted local experts work in your area and within your budget, backed by the most preferred window and door brand by homeowners. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Study of homeowner perceptions of leading national brands. Study commissioned by Pella 2023.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Hi, it's Julie Buck to tell you about a trusted family business that I've been working with for years, Easter Fence and Deck. Chuck Easter and his family have been the go-to fence and deck company in the St. Louis area for more than 70 years. And when it comes to sunrooms, Easter Fence and Deck offers the top-of-the-line Better Living sunrooms that are absolutely spectacular. When it comes to fences, decks, and sunrooms, I would invite you to do what my family has done for years and trust the family-owned Easter Fence and Deck online at easterfence.com.
Hey, St. Louis, this is Zippers Up. I'm getting ready to MC the Mater Media Speaker Series. Woo, we're bringing in some big names. Bill O, Timothy Dolan, John O'Leary, other national personalities. We're going to be at the J. Scheidegger Center for the Arts, Lindenwood University, beginning in September. Go to matermedia.org. That's MATERMEDIA.org. Early bird pricing going on now. Don't wait. Tickets are going fast.
10 minutes before 4 o'clock, let's go to the John Bill Roofing Traffic Center with Captain Paul.
Heidi, an accident on 270 North at 70 is blocking the two right lanes and causing a bumper-to-bumper jam back to Page. There's a stalled vehicle on 170 North past Airport Road with traffic jammed back to Scudder and Hanley. 64 from Kings Highway to Clayton Speaker. 54 east bogs down at 170. 5570 west is slow between 255 and Illinois 111. And 64 east is congested between Illinois 157 and 159. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the John Beal Roofing Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
President Trump reportedly used a catering truck to sneak off Air Force One amid threats from Iran. Don Mahalik, ABC News law enforcement contributor and retired senior Secret Service agent, joins us with his knowledge. And I know you have a lot of knowledge. How often does something like this happen, kind of an escape route?
More often than I think people realize, Heidi, because the Secret Service employs these type of clandestine and deceptive maneuvers, both for travel on planes and also in motorcades and even moving the president through buildings. Deception is one of the key ways to keep a protectee safe. If people don't know where they are, they can't attack them. So that's why the Secret Service employs it, particularly in high threat areas.
So is there always kind of a standby option?
There's always thought put into, if the situation goes badly, how do we handle this situation? Or if we need to get the president out of the situation, what's the best way to do it? So Secret Service works closely, especially overseas with the U.S. military, to come up with these contingency plans in order to make sure that if they needed to move the president in different circumstances, they're able to do it. This has been going on for decades. Harkens back World War II. FDR was moved in and out of Europe multiple times, multiple combat zones. Nobody knew. And even as recently as when President Biden took a 10-hour clandestine train ride from Warsaw to Kiev to meet with President Zelensky, and nobody knew he was there until he left.
Huh.
So, Don, I would not ask you to give away any specific secrets, but how would the chain of events occur here? Somebody comes on some intel, and then somebody reports it to a higher up. They make a decision. Walk us through that.
Whenever the president is traveling anywhere, the Secret Service gets a constant influx of threat intelligence. They're constantly getting brief about evolving threat intelligence, both before the trip and during the trip. And then as the threat intelligence evolves to the point where they have to come up with some type of a contingency operation, and the Secret Service would work with, in particular, the U.S. military, as well as some high-level members of the White House staff, to put that together and figure out what it looks like. Typically, it's very unconventional. It's very unorthodox. We'll do different things in order to get the protectee in and out of locations where nobody knows. Secrecy and deception being the key. So there's been some talk about why people didn't know and why, and that's because of the need to keep things a secret.
Right.
And to use that deception in order to trick any adversary from being able to target the president. Because keep in mind, those planes were on the ground for a while. There was a shooting war that re-erupted between Iran and the United States. Yep. Iran has clear strike capabilities. And that being that the planes were on the ground for so long, they probably already had them vectored in. So they wanted to get him out as safely as possible. And one of the best ways to do that is make the adversaries think he's someplace he's not.
One of the first things that came to mind for me, I mean, once that the president is safe, he usually travels with kind of a covey of journalists. They all just get on that plane that could be in danger?
So the way the Air Force One is set up, the press sit in the back of the plane. The president's cabin is up in the front of the plane, and there's a big distance between where the press are and the president is. And again, the need for secrecy is key here. Oftentimes, when these protective evolutions occur, even people at the highest levels of government that you would think should know what's going on don't. And that is because of the need for secrecy in order to make sure nobody understands, and also to make sure that the people there are acting as if the president's there. Because once you tell people the president isn't there, behaviors change, and they don't want the behavior to change. So there's been reports that people were told to close the drapes and that kind of stuff. And that was all in order to make sure that the nothing normal changes, because the last thing you want is, just like if you're playing cards, you don't want to give a tell. So they didn't want to give a tell that the president was no longer on that plane.
But there's never going to be a time where they're going to actually move those journalists to another flight either, just in case they're in danger. They're just going to be the ones that go down.
No, I think, well, first of all, those planes are flown by some of the best pilots in the entire world, the 89th Air Wing of the U.S. Air Force. The guys are tremendous. I should say guys and girls are tremendous that fly those planes. Those planes also all of them have capabilities, because that entire Air Wing is dedicated to flying the president, the vice president, and other government officials. So all the aircraft are set up to handle combat type situations. So the best and the brightest are flying these people no matter what plane they're on. And the bottom line is, and I said this on one of my last interviews, if you're flying with the president, you're in danger, period.
Right. That's true.
There is to me, there's no levels of danger. You're in danger. Period.
Right.
So, if you're on a big white plane that says United States of America, you're in danger flying in that part of the world. So, and they needed to make sure things looked like normal. Yeah. Now, if they had intelligence that the plane was going to blow up, that of course would evacuate everybody
right.
off the plane
Okay.
and move them to another plane. But in this situation, they had a threat, and probably a missile type threat that they were concerned about. It didn't seem like they had specific intelligence that there was an inbound missile, or if they definitely took off, they were going to get attacked. Because if that would have happened, they probably wouldn't have flown at all. It sounds like they had some general intelligence and that they wanted to be proactive about it.
Hey, Don, Mike Pence was in town a couple of years ago, and there was a big motorcade and everything, and I got stuck behind it, and I was late to work. And I couldn't help but think, you've got all these cars. Obviously, we know who it is. But if they would have stuffed him in an old Datsun, nobody would have even known it was him, and he could have driven down the street, and they wouldn't have had to shut down any highways. What's the thought process between the giant motorcades and closing the highways down and just kind of shuttling someone off in secret?
So the motorcades serve two purposes. Number one, it looks very official, and you want the president, the vice president, people to look very official. And number two, it's got the maximum resources to enable protection, because there's a bunch of capabilities that are with that motorcade that may come into play. God forbid something happens to the protectee that's in that motorcade, whether it's a technical asset or a tactical asset or whatever. Everything's in that motorcade versus putting them in a nondescript car where if something happens, you have no capabilities.
Yeah.
Having said that, there have been circumstances where, because of threat intelligence, a protectee is put in a decoy motorcade is used, or a protectee is placed perhaps in a different car in the motorcade than where they would normally sit. And with a lot of these clandestine maneuvers, protectees are moved typically in nondescript motorcades that people wouldn't necessarily think are carrying the president in order to get them from point A to point B. So there's a lot of choreography that goes into a lot of thought, a lot of planning in order to make sure that it's done safely, effectively, and with the utmost secrecy.
Well, Don, we always appreciate your insight. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Heidi. Thanks for having me, guys.
To find survivors after yesterday's major earthquake, more than 220 people have died. Hundreds of others are listed as missing. ABC's Faith Abube is in Medellin with
At least 61 buildings collapsed and over 1,600 homes damaged or destroyed. Residents seen fleeing as structures around them crumbled. In Cali, at least 20 buildings collapsed, falling to the ground. Rescuers using their bare hands and buckets to scoop debris as they search for any signs of life.
Robert Gilman, a U.S. Marine and veteran, released from a Russian prison today. President Trump calling it a humanitarian effort after he spoke to Russia's president. ABC's Patrick Reevell with details.
32-year-old Robert Gilman is now on his way back to the U.S. after a 4-year ordeal held in a Russian prison. Gilman was imprisoned while he was visiting Russia after he was accused of kicking a police officer, and his family and the U.S. government say those charges were essentially trumped up.
Gilman's family says he was abused and is gravely ill. The White House is not confirming or denying reports by the Washington Post on a plan to protect President Trump from an Iranian threat following last month's NATO summit in Turkey. The Post says the president was secretly shuttled off Air Force One on a catering truck and moved to a military jet. Here's ABC's Martha Raddatz.
All three planes, the Qatari gifted jet, the Legacy Air Force One carrying staff and press, and the military craft reportedly carrying the president, landed in Britain. It's there that the president is reportedly secreted back on to the Legacy aircraft, where he was seen by cameras again deplaning and boarding the Qatari gifted jet.
Tornado warnings in the Chicago area forcing the evacuation of workers at Midway Airport's air traffic control tower today. You're listening to ABC News.
Your retirement isn't just numbers on a statement. It's your family, your time, and your future. Listen to the Financial Safari with Greg Belger, Sundays at 5 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Tune in Mondays to the Frank and Jill Show for Success St. Louis style as they feature a St. Louis and making a difference in our community. Brought to you by the St. Louis Chess Club.
Building champions in the classroom and the community. Online at stlouischessclub.org.
Summer isn't over until you've experienced the 2026 DuCoin State Fair. Join the fun August 28th through September 7th in DuCoin, Illinois, with free gate admission every day. Enjoy thrilling carnival rides, mouth-watering fair food, livestock shows, family attractions, and incredible grandstand entertainment. Featuring stars like Wiz Khalifa, Tyler Hubbard, Night Ranger, Russell Dickerson, and more. Make memories the whole family will love. See the full entertainment lineup and plan your visit today at dsf.illinois.gov. That's the 2026 DuCoin State Fair, where Illinois comes together.
Good afternoon. At 4:03, we have 95 degrees under a partly sunny sky. It feels like 107. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News. Governor Mike Kehoe has announced he has appointed Tom Smith of Warson Woods as Associate Circuit Judge in the 21st Judicial Circuit. Smith currently serves as an assistant prosecuting attorney for the St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. He previously served as an assistant attorney general for the Missouri Attorney General's Office. The Illinois Department of Health is reminding Illinoisans that the state's existing endorsement of the 2026 American Academy of Pediatrics Child and Adolescent Immunization Schedule remains unchanged. This despite a federal executive order this week seeking to make changes to established vaccine guidance. The IDPH notes that years of study confirm that vaccines to the existing child and adolescent schedule are safe and effective in keeping children healthy and protecting them from the effects of serious preventable injuries. Applications are now open for the Illinois Department of Transportation Enhancement Program. KTRS's Brendan Wiese has those details.
The program has $157 million available, thanks in large part to Governor J.B. Pritzker's Rebuild Illinois. Communities with the greatest needs will be prioritized to receive the funding. Projects eligible for funding through ITEP include biking and walking paths, trails, streetscape beautification work, and other improvements designed to encourage safe travel across the various modes of transportation at the local level. Applications are due by October 5th, with winners announced sometime next year. I'm Brendan Wiese, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. JBLFinancial.com. Taking a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune into Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. At the close, the Dow is down 183 points to 53,792. The Nasdaq off 160 points at 26,445, and the S&P down 25 points at 77.28. Now a check on sports and traffic with Paul Kopsky in the John Beal Roofing Traffic Center.
Vicky, the Cardinals are back in action tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game series with Philadelphia at Busch. Andre Pallante gets the start. The Birds fell back below 500 with last night's loss and are 4.5 games behind the Phils in the NL wildcard race. And next week, the PGA Tour arrives in St. Louis for the BMW Championship. The FedEx Cup playoffs begin this week with the Tour's top 70 golfers descending upon Memphis. It will be only the top 50 going to Belle Reve. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. There's a stalled vehicle on 170 north past Airport Road with traffic jammed back to I-70. 70 east is crowded between Cary and Salisbury. 64 west is slow from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker, and it's stop and go from Prospect to I-70. 64 east bogs down at 170. 270 south is heavy between 64 and Manchester. 5570 west slow between Black Lane and Illinois 111, and 64 east is congested between Illinois 157 and 159. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the John Beal Roofing Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
An extreme heat warning remains in effect until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Currently, it is 95 degrees and partly sunny. It feels like 107. Partly cloudy tonight with a low in the upper 70s. Sunny tomorrow with a high of 95 and a heat index near 110. Currently, 95 degrees at the KTRS studios at Westport. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers. Oh, they're here. Hey, who needs something to drink?
we've been overindulging a little more than usual. Thank goodness we both added active liver to our diets to give our livers some much-needed support so we have the energy we need to enjoy the holidays.
Active Liver from New Nordic contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract designed to give your liver maximum protection and help it do vital jobs like removing toxins from alcohol, rich foods, and sweets.
Try Active Liver today and enjoy all the holiday treats with the peace of mind of knowing you're giving your liver some relief.
Find Active Liver online at Amazon, Vitacost.com, or iHerb.com. Or pick it up today at CVS, Meijer Grocery, or ShopRite. Enjoy life to the fullest with Active Liver.
Are you looking for a deck? I am. And you know who I turn to? Outdoor Living and Pat Leahy. They've been a sponsor for a long time, and they've done some other projects for me, but this one's the big one. It's going to have metal framing, composite decking, and when it's all said and done, he's going to put a 50-year warranty on it. Not because I'm his spokesperson for all these years, but because I am a customer. Outdoor Living takes care of St. Louis. So if you're looking for a deck that will survive the heat and the winter and the sun and everything else, Outdoor Living, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. Outdoor Living or OutdoorLivingInc.com.
Anne-Marie here for my friends at Black Fox Cooper, your local Anderson certified contractor. We all feel the sting of inflation. That's why putting off replacing your old windows could cost you more in the future. New Anderson windows make your home more comfortable, more energy efficient, and more beautiful, while potentially saving you money on utility bills. Black Fox Cooper specializes exclusively in Anderson replacement windows and offers a personalized, educational approach called the Window Read. Don't wait. Improve your home today. Call 314-270-1484. Online at blackfoxcooper.com.
My college roommate said to me recently, everyone needs a good electrician on speed dial. And you know what? He's right. Ever since Michael Baldy has started advertising on the show, you know what? He's been out to the house 4, 5, 6 different times to fix all sorts of things. Good thing I got Michael Baldy on speed dial because Those things are a hazard. And it's one thing, you know how much I like to pretend to think that I'm a home improvement guy. I'll mess with plumbing and I'll mess with woodworking, but there's something I won't mess with, and that's electricity. It's too dangerous. It's too confusing, quite frankly. I know how to plug in a light bulb, but after that, it's baldyelectric.com. So for all of your electrical needs, residential, commercial, indoor, outdoor, TVs, computers, technology, baldyelectric.com. It's the place to go. You need a good electrician on speed dial. That's Michael Baldy or baldyelectric.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our headlines for this Tuesday afternoon, August 11th, Kingside Diner opens 5th restaurant in former Rose by Pinot space. Kingside Diner has mapped out its next move. The chess-themed breakfast and lunch concept from the Five Senses LLC will open its 5th location this fall, taking over a space on 18th Street in Lafayette Square. It's slated to open in early October. The new restaurant is a hybrid between the company's full-service restaurants and Kingside Express, with full table service and a slightly abbreviated menu designed to fit the compact kitchen because it's a smaller place. The new Kingside location will retain the existing bar while refreshing the interior with the brand's signature black and white color palette, granite tabletops, and classic diner-style flooring. The restaurant will feature a full coffee program and bar, emphasize takeout and delivery alongside dine-in service, and operate 7 days a week. Breakfast and lunch will be the initial focus. The space is being designed with future evening service in mind. So these guys are knocking it out of the park.
I wonder if that's the new thing, is quicker meals. People don't have time to sit down and have a long meal.
Not for me. That's one of the things I look forward to.
Like
I enjoy it. The experience.
My
I
family's
agree.
very much about like eating and going. And Marsha and I are sitting and want to have our glass of wine and we're talking to people. I mean, we'll be there for 2 hours.
Yeah,
so,
I think that's good.
Not for me.
I think that's good.
I like that too, but everybody's on the go these days.
Well, you're not. Don't be everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carve your own
you're right.
path.
That's exactly right. Be a leader, not a follower.
Okay. A stayer, not a goer.
If you choose.
Yeah.
So I've got some news on a topic that we've talked about at length, rounding up and down at stores and restaurants and service places. The Missouri Department of Revenue sent a letter to businesses yesterday. I should have done it yesterday, about how this is supposed to work. In case you were wondering, Josh, frequently how you do it. Rounding, according to the Department of Revenue, only applies to cash transactions. Cash only.
Okay.
Round down if the final cent totals, including tax, ends in 1, 2, 6, or 7. Examples: $1.92 goes down to $1.90. $1.93 rounds up to $1.95. Non-cash payments must not, in capital letters, must not be rounded, and it doesn't change the business's tax obligations. So if you are a consumer and you wonder how they came at this, it's the Missouri State Department of Revenue.
Got it.
Now, that's kind of hard information. Now I've got one for Josh. Headline: Disney World fans upset.
I saw this and I thought of both of you.
As
fools.
fan favorite trash cans are replaced with solar power upgrades. Now,
What
What does
is
that
this something
mean?
to be upset about? I don't understand.
What's above a first world problem?
Well, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
What could possibly, but this might be it.
Uh-huh.
So you've paid all this money, thousands and thousands of dollars
Hundreds
to go,
of thousands of dollars.
and you buy some food and people are complaining they've been eating their meals on the top of a trash can. And you're consuming food, and they're complaining that the new ones that are, by the way, solar powered and compact trash and recycling in the can.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, really cool. It sounds like a very good idea, but according to the story, people all over the world are upset that they can't eat on top of a trash can.
That is so. Did you ever eat on top of the trash can?
You know, I've been in an airport maybe, and there's nowhere to sit, and I've done it. And as I've done it, I've said, you, meaning me, talking to myself, are a disgusting human being.
Well, I mean, you might be doing it on accident. You know, oh, here's a good surface. I'll just set something down. You don't realize
what you're doing.
It's a trash can.
I think you know it's a trash can.
I think the flies and the smell.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't know it's a trash can.
No, I've done it, but reluctantly, and it's gross.
So I've never thought about eating on top of a trash can. But as soon as you started telling the story, I said, I could see myself accidentally doing that.
Yeah, but these people aren't doing it accidentally because they don't have a place to go get a table, and they just eat their meal and feed their children whose mouths are right at the eye level or mouth level of the opening of the trash can. People, we're living in a society.
So Disney has this thing, and Bogart's, the barbecue place down in Soulard, actually has the
trash
same.
cans?
No, they have picnic tables.
They have picnic tables, but they have the same setup. You cannot sit down unless you have your food.
That's a good rule.
I think so too.
And it really worked. And you might say, well, I'm just holding the table while somebody
No,
orders.
you're not.
Hang on. The way that it works is that people don't eat, despite what we said earlier, it doesn't take that long to eat.
No.
And by the time you get your food, somebody has gotten up by then. And then you just sit down where they were. And there's plenty of places to sit. You might have to wait a little bit. But when you hog the tables, before you even have your
get a
food,
log jam.
You're log jamming it. So,
and in those types of places, usually there will be somebody that can kind of help navigate.
Yes.
Hey, let me wipe this table
Yeah.
off. They just left. Usually a place like that will accommodate customers.
So these people eating on top of trash cans at Disney, I'm sure there's a table somewhere nearby. They'll make it. All right. We were talking just yesterday about electrolytes and salt in water. Heidi admitted that she drinks salt water every morning.
Himalayan sea salt.
Pink Himalayan sea salt, the fancy stuff.
It's not fancy. It's different.
Different.
But it's good.
Yes.
Little different. But there is a beverage out that is more hydrating even than water. If you're sitting here and you're thinking, I just had a hard workout, or I went for a long bike ride and I really need to rehydrate myself.
Coconut water.
Coconut water is definitely on the list.
Okay.
But this dietitian with the Today Show, I saw this morning, said that for a real hydrating tall glass, reach for the milk
Yep.
in your fridge. And that goes for skim milk and whole milk as well. They say that there's natural sodium in milk, and we talked yesterday about how sodium, salt, has electrolytes in it, and it's good to rehydrate you. It's great to keep hydration in your body, and the fat and protein in milk further help your body hang on to that precious hydration throughout. If you can stomach it.
Oh, I do it.
You do?
I love milk.
I cannot think about going for a long run and then, what is it? The beer. I always joke about the beer commercials. Everybody's saying volleyball in the hot sun, and then you reach for a beer. I don't think so. I'm reaching for a water.
I would do that too.
I would do that too. I think you're the one that's weird here.
I'm going for a water and then maybe a beer.
No,
But
not
can
if
you
you're on a
imagine
beach.
Somebody jumping into the cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And pulling out an old style glass bottle of milk and chugging that.
Well, let me tell you this to add to your story. For a long time, chocolate milk has been a post-workout go-to.
I was going to say that same thing.
Yeah.
This is just kind of catching up, but a long time.
So they say milk, water with a salty snack, and then, like Heidi said, coconut water. These are three great things to drink when you're feeling dehydrated.
There you go.
Yep. I'll tell you, time is running out to get to the Muni. We talked to the president and CEO yesterday, Kofi Coleman, and right now, Meet Me in St. Louis is on stage, but then they are wrapping up the musical season with a show that is absolutely fantastic. It is a Muni premiere, and I'm talking about Something Rotten. I mean, if you're looking for some fun, this is it. It's the Renaissance, and Nick and Nigel Bottom are desperate for a hit play, but they are stuck in the shadow of the egocentric, charismatic, dramatic megastar of their time. That would be William Shakespeare. So you can see how this story unfolds, and it is hilarious. Whether it's soothsayer predicts that the future of theater involves singing, dancing, and acting at the same time, the brothers set out to create the world's first musical, but fame isn't everything, and they realize that reaching the top means being true to thine own self. And all that jazz. Something Rotten is a comic mashup of 16th century Shakespeare and 21st century Broadway that proves nothing's as amazing as a musical. It is a Muni premiere that you do not want to miss. Something Rotten opens August 17th. It runs through the 23rd, and you can get tickets either at the Muni box office or online at muni.org.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
You know, that honey-do list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. One great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honey-do list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
This is the Business Journal Report with editor Erik Siemers on the Heidi Glaus Show. Powered by Capital Advisory Group. CapitalAdvisoryGRP.com.
The St. Louis Blues are launching a new television model. Erik Siemers, editor of the St. Louis Business Journal, is back to explain. So, Erik, is this going to be another streaming service we have to pay for?
Well, likely yes. So almost every NHL or National or Basketball Association franchise that used a regional sports network is going through kind of a reckoning. As we know here in St. Louis, Main Street Sports Group, which was the parent company of FanDuel Sports Network Midwest, filed for bankruptcy, eventually shut down. So that means the Blues and, of course, the Cardinals launched a different TV distribution platform early this year that includes a streaming service. The Blues are looking to do something similar. This comes at a time when a lot of sports teams across the country are actually switching to full-time over-the-air broadcasting, free broadcasting, almost like the first time in a generation we've seen teams go back to free channels. We asked the Blues if they're going to do the same thing. Now, if you'll remember, the Blues had last year broadcast 5 games over the air. They're looking to expand that this year by as many as 10 to 15 games. But their real strategy is to try to find a pay TV partner. Now, what that will likely look like is you'll be able to, have a direct-to-consumer streaming service that you can get through an app and pay an annual subscription to. You'll also probably have the option of seeing them on a traditional cable channel that you subscribe to. And then they'll have, along with it, some of those over-the-air games. So they're still waiting to identify who that distribution partner will be, what channel will put their games on the air. They're expecting that announcement, though, soon. Even in the next couple of weeks. Their first preseason game is like the middle of September.
So, Erik, if somebody wants to see every single Blues game, are they going to need to have a smart TV?
Well, those are the things we don't know yet. I would guess, based on the way most of these franchises are moving to, that that would help, but it isn't necessarily required. They're looking for like a pay TV partner. Now, that means that it could be on a traditional channel that you can get on your current Spectrum Charter account.
Got it.
It could also be that they create a whole new thing like Cardinals do with Cardinals.tv, where you can subscribe it through there also. They're trying to make it so that their consumers have options, no matter how they watch TV, to be able to subscribe to something to get the Blues games. Now, the question as to why they're not going to full-time over the air, it has likely something to do with the sort of the rabid devotion of the fans themselves. The Blues, for the last dozen plus years, have ranked in the top 5 in TV ratings from local broadcasts in the National Hockey League. So that means fans consume them. They watch them. They are a devoted fan base. And if you think of it from a business perspective, it's a supply-demand issue. If you've got something that people really want, you're not going to give it away for free. Yeah. You're going to want to charge for it. It's leaving money on the table. And these TV deals that the regional sports networks provided these franchises, not just the Blues, but all of them, with a significant amount of revenue that's now going away. These teams have to find a way to try to recoup some of that. For some franchises, and again, I can't speak to the Blues particularly, those TV deals were as much as 25% of their revenue. Wow. So you have to think about, they've got to find a way to both present a product that is accessible to fans in the most reasonable way, while also preserving some of that revenue. And that revenue is something they need to be able to be competitive on the ice.
Well, Erik, it seems like Diamond Sports or whoever it was overpaid for these things for years. TV watching has shifted in that time. What they paid for it in 2015 is not what it's worth today. So to think that they can be chasing those numbers again, I think it needs a reset. Now, I brought this up before, the old RFT model. You give it away for free and then load the thing with advertisements. That's how they used to do it. The NFL, aside from Monday Night Football and Thursday Night Football, all the games are over the air for free. Somehow they have figured it out. And if you give it away for free, you have more eyes on it. So theoretically, you could charge more in advertising.
It sounds like a perfectly logical thing. There's a couple of differences, though. The NFL has a league-wide television deal that nets them billions of dollars. It's remarkably lucrative, which automatically then gets spread across to every team. These local sports franchises, we're kind of watching sort of free market capitalism play itself out in real time here. They had a pretty good sweetheart deal with these cable broadcasters that wanted to pay for the rights to handle all the production and broadcasting of their teams, and they lived off of it for years. That business model failed. We're now seeing teams try to come up with some sort of business model that has stability and still allows them to retain some of the revenue they lost. So theoretically, yeah, giving it away for free, expanding your audience, selling those ads. But something tells me, and the Blues would probably elaborate on this, that still doesn't necessarily cover the hole that's missing from these regional sports networks. And the advertising, selling advertising alone just wouldn't do it. Now, there are a couple of other changes that are going here that add to this. The production of these telecasts will now, for the first time, be done by the National Hockey League. They have stood up their own, television production arm that they're launching this year, and the Blues are going to be one of the franchises that are going to be having their games produced by the National Hockey League. But unlike before, when it was Bally or FanDuel, whoever it was, those deals before, the broadcaster kept all of the advertising revenue. Now the Blues are able to sell their advertising revenue on the NHL-produced broadcast. So that will be another stream of revenue they're going to have coming in addition to whatever they generate from selling subscriptions or access to their games through whichever TV distribution plan they come up with.
Very interesting. I guess we'll just wait and see what we'll be watching. Another story the Business Journal is talking about is about a fun indoor action park. Tell us what's happening at Slick City.
Yeah, Slick City Action Park is this franchise operation that was launched in St. Louis in 2022. They're basically, if you have young kids, it's an indoor play place full of slides and tubes and all these different things that can exhaust a kid throughout an afternoon, so your mom and dad can get a break. I love these things. When I lived in Oregon, where it rained all the time, I was always trying to find the next newest thing. But Slick City, it kind of, really rapidly grew to this tremendous size. Like I said, they started in 2022. They actually opened their first location in Denver at that time. I just went to their website and counted. They now have 52 locations.
Wow. And it started here in St. Louis?
What's that?
It started here in St. Louis?
Yeah.
I did not realize that.
It considers its headquarters St. Louis and Nashville. So I think that's where the two founders are based.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a St. Louis sort of founded organization, but they're now at 52 locations in the U.S. Their website identifies 30 more that they're hoping to open this year next. And they've also reached a deal to franchise in the UK, where they're opening up their first location, shortly. So it's really growing rapidly. And the thing about it is it's not just the physical space where people can go in and slide. They also manufacture all of the slides. And it's this, they have a subsidiary called Slick Slide. They developed this dry slide technology, which is used on all of the attractions inside the indoor venue. The big news that happened this week is that Slick City drew the attention of a private equity investor. Endeavor, which is based out of Portland, Oregon, is investing in an undisclosed amount of money into Slick City, which will help them sort of invest in their franchise system and create some more supports to help that franchise operation continue to grow. The CEO of the company, Braun Lonsby, still retains his full ownership in this deal, which is a pretty good deal for him. Here you're getting some outside capital to help bolster your growth and support it. You're going to give the investor a seat on your board, but you're still going to retain your full ownership interest. You're going to continue to be CEO. You're still going to have your management team. So that's a good sign for him. But also, when you get in a private equity investor that's looking at a growth product like this, it's really a reinforcement that someone sees something in your business model that is worth investing in, and that it has something behind it.
Erik, I have not participated in these indoor spaces. Josh has.
Finn's having his birthday party at Slick City.
Yeah. Oh, it's Slick City.
Yeah.
So that one in particular, there's a new place right by my house called Wow, which is an indoor and outdoor place. I wonder what the market studies say a given market can bear. How many of these? In fact, at the Galleria, is it a Bass Pro? What is it?
It's a Dick's that is going to be an interactive kind of climbing.
It's going to be interesting how the marketplace handles all these opportunities.
I can't speak from any sort of market analysis, but I can speak from a parent. Of course, my kids are all mostly college age now, but it wasn't that long ago that they were young. And it's like I said, I lived in Oregon at the time. It rains all year long. So there was and my wife worked on weekends. So I was always looking for places I could take the kids to exhaust them and get some of that energy out in a weekend. And we also had a lot of fun at them. But I hit the same 2 or 3 in my neighborhood all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the threshold for oversaturation of these kinds of businesses is a lot higher than what you would imagine.
Gotcha.
I think you could place 10 of those in a metro area and still find business for them all, because it's neighborhood based. Families are going to go where it's close to where they live.
Yeah.
If you have one of these places and say you live on the east side and the only one available is in Chesterfield, you're probably not going to go.
Yeah.
Right.
And Erik, this is a really great opportunity for like, for instance, the one in St. Peter's, the Slick City, where Finn's going to have his party at. It's an old Joann fabric. And Joann's went out of business. If you had a Sports Authority or a Bed Bath & Beyond, and now you have a giant warehouse store and it's empty, just jam some slides in there and start
That's all it takes.
Charging admission.
Yeah, no insurance, nothing else.
A couple of mats.
Yeah. Well, they have some metrics on this. So Slick City says its locations have an annual average unit volume, I presume that means revenue, of $4 million.
Wow.
And to open a franchise, you have to have an initial investment of about 1.4 to 4.7 million. That's based upon venues that can range from 20,000 square feet to 40,000 square feet. So they're not small. So there's significant, they take up a significant amount of real estate, but there's a lot in that real estate that comes with it. So I'm not suggesting that, you guys go fork over $2 million and start your own, but that is exactly what they're trying to do, is get more people to do just that. And they're having a lot of takers. It's a big growing business.
Yeah, it is. Well, Erik, we always appreciate you keeping us in the know, and you can read more about what's happening in business news in our area online at bizjournals.com/St. Louis. Thanks, Erik.
We celebrate 250 years of the U.S. independence and 1 year since the Big Beautiful Bill became law. Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and the author of the #1 best-selling books on taxes, Keep What's Yours and Keeping What's Yours. Let's celebrate our history and take advantage of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Give us a call at 636-394-5524. That's 636-394-5524. Or visit us online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
It is 4:37. Time to go back to the John Bill Roofing Traffic Center. And Captain Paul, how's traffic?
Heidi, we have an accident on 44 East before Soccer Park. On 170 South at Forest Park Parkway, there's a stalled vehicle blocking the right lane and causing a stop and go back up to Ladue Road. 70 East is crowded between Cary and Salisbury. 44 West heavy between Walnut and Tucker. 64 West is slow from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker, and it's stop and go from Prospect to I-70. 64 East bogs down at 170. 270 South is heavy between Ladue Road and Manchester. 5570 West jam between 255 and Illinois 111. And 64 East is congested between Illinois 157 and 159. This traffic report is brought to you by Stages St. Louis. Get your single tickets now for Stages St. Louis. Take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls, which runs through August 23rd. Then Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call 314-821-2407 or visit stagesstlouis.org. From the John Beal Roofing Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, Heidi was talking about Domino's earlier, and everybody has their favorite order out pizza, but everybody also has their favorite frozen pizza.
I only have one frozen pizza that I like.
I do too. And I think Bob does too. Every time his wife isn't home, he makes a Dogtown pizza. You can find the evidence in the trash can.
You mean just the wrapper, because there's no extra pieces going into the trash.
The proof is in the pudding, or in this case, the pizza.
Pepperonis.
The proof is in the pepperonis and the pepperoncinis.
That's right.
Which is my favorite, pepperoni peppercini. Heidi is a veggie, tomato, basil, garlic kind of gal. Bob, what are you? You're like a sausage or a meat lovers or
in fact, Jen asked me this yesterday.
Yep.
She was going to the grocery store.
Bacon guy.
And I love 4 or 5 different ones, but I told her pepperoni and sausage.
Oh, pepperoni and sausage.
Very simple.
Let's keep it simple. 2 toppings. That's all you need. 12 different varieties, though. So you can be a whatever kind of Dogtown person you want. With 12 different varieties, you can also have a different pizza every night for almost 2 weeks straight. It is endless pizzabilities.
Oh, I like what you did there.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Dogtown
okay.
pizza. I'm still workshopping it.
Sure. I liked it.
Live on the air, workshopping it.
I feel like Sarah Pekkanen kind of inspired you.
Yes.
Oh,
Our
the creative
author.
juices from
Yeah.
our author in the earlier hour.
Mm-hmm.
Dogtown Pizza, every local grocery store in town, dogtownpizza.com.
We are here with the man, Ryan Raphael. He's the Medicare man of St. Louis. Ryan, one of the biggest misconceptions about Medicare when people reach the age of 65 is if they don't sign up at age 65, they get penalized.
So really what happens is when people are approaching 65, they get all the literature and things coming at them that looks like they have to do something. If somebody is working, they really do not have to sign up for Medicare as long as they're part of an employer of 20 or more employees and they can take it out down the road and not pay penalties.
So if you're over the age of 65 and you have not signed up for Medicare, there's no penalty. There's no reason why you can't do it at age 65, 66, or 67,
That
or
is
70.
correct. Yep.
That is Ryan Raphael. If you're approaching 65 and you have questions about Medicare, he is the man. The Medicare man, STL.com, 314-368-6808, Ryan Raphael. And if you don't trust me, trust my nanny. My nanny says he's the best. Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man, STL.
Lewis is a small town, especially Indoor Comfort Team. Since their beginning in 1979, Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning has served their neighbors with old school honesty and integrity, fair and common sense pricing, and fast, reliable service with real human support. When you call them, whether you need a second opinion or a whole new HVAC system, you'll get a real human being on the other line. No AI, no robot answering machines. From HVAC installation to repairs, even water heaters, Indoor Comfort Team will take care of you. And with summer already upon us, maybe it's time to get that air conditioner checked. Indoor Comfort Team takes care of our community because they're a part of it. Check them out today at indoorcomfortteam.com or call 314-894-8200.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They can send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Due to the overwhelming success of Country Club Car Wash's summer sparkler promotion, they're extending it until further notice. At Country Club Car Wash, make sure it says country, you can buy 2 ultimate washes and get 2 free. That's a total of 4 ultimate exterior washes for only $52 at Country Club Car Wash. Or $92 gets you 4 ultimate exterior washes and 4 interior cleanings. Available in-store or online, cccwstl.com. Country Club Car Wash, cccwstl.com/summer-sparkler. CCWSTL.com.
It's Julie Buck, and I wanted to pop on here just to give my friends at Rankin Jordan Pediatric Bridge Hospital some love. Healing goes beyond medicine. The hospital is built on a simple but powerful philosophy. Play helps children heal. Through their Care Beyond the Bedside model, kids are encouraged to leave their hospital rooms, play, explore, and simply be kids while they recover. To support Rankin Jordan's work, donate at rankinjordanfoundation.org and join us for the Beyond Gala on September 26th.
Hi, everybody. McGraw-Millhaven here for Jacob Baths and Showers. They specialize in helping seniors age in place with a bath and shower design. They'll replace your current tub. They'll put in a walk-in shower. They'll add grab bars and seats and add a non-slick service, not to mention their composite materials that look like luxury stone and last a lifetime. The great thing about Jacob Baths and Showers, 1 to 2 days and you get your bathroom back. Find out more at jacobbaths.com.
Choose Pella of St. Louis for window and door replacement to help enhance your home. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Josh, you and so many other parents are gearing up for another school year. Your first real school year has been hit kindergarten, and according to a report, during the school year, parents spend a total of 432 hours on meal planning and preparation. That includes about 2 hours every week packing school lunches. Now, do you guys split the job of making his lunches? Will he eat at school?
So
and there's a cafeteria?
They have a cafeteria. They have a menu. He's a picky eater. So he'll eat the pizza days. He'll eat the hot dog days. But, you know, they'll have salad. What 5-year-old's eating salad?
Yeah, really.
So we'll make about 3 lunches a week. And it just really depends on who got up first.
Okay.
You know,
this article says, you know, the hurdles, making sure that you have food that they will actually eat, keeping lunches interesting, not just giving them the same thing every day to avoid wasting any food.
2 quick ones. First of all, I was mixed, like Finn will be, knowing what was coming up. And later there was, I didn't get in trouble very much at all. I really didn't. I'm not saying I was a great kid.
But you weren't in trouble. You didn't caught.
Not getting caught. Except one time, for a while, I don't know what happened. I can't remember what triggered it, but I was like, I don't want to eat this lunch, in the brown paper bag lunch. And I just bring it back home with me, and I stuffed it behind the water meter outside the house. And I probably had 4 or 5 of them back there, and my dad saw it, and I got in big trouble. But then I said, I don't want it. And he goes, okay, well, let's figure out what you want to eat. I was in trouble, but then I was in trouble for trying to deceive.
Instead of just saying, I don't want this.
But not because of the reason.
Right.
Just don't be deceiving. But but my point of all that is, lunches are kind of weird for kids, and because kids won't eat if they don't like it.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
No, you're right. And you need to have, you know, a little something in your stomach just to be able to pay attention. You've got that stomach
exactly
growling, you know, you're fidgeting and you're not.
Exactly right.
They eat a lot of snacks these days. I'd be interested for the older kids. Obviously, the younger kids, they give them snack time and multiple recesses. But I'd be interested to see, like, the 5th and 6th graders. Do they get a morning snack, or do they get an afternoon snack? No, it's just lunch and you're out. I remember my parents would make lunch the night before because they were both teachers. They had to be out the door, you know, before we
Jen
did.
used to do that a lot.
But by the time you get to lunch at 11 o'clock, that jelly had seeped through.
It can be gooey.
The white bread, and, you know, there's a big circle.
Doesn't that make it better?
Of grape jelly, and you could see it through the sandwich.
But aren't you typically a gooey sandwich guy?
I am, but that was pretty
that was
gross.
too gooey.
Yeah, that was pretty gross.
That's the way I want mine.
Really?
Yeah, just and even if that peanut butter is melted a little bit, even better.
I wasn't complaining about the peanut butter, Heidi, but that jelly seeping through the bread, ugh.
I think that's one of the reasons I didn't really like peanut butter and jelly growing up. I like peanut butter, but not the jelly. And now I'll eat an Uncrustable like an 8-year-old all day long.
I got to have my milk with it, though. I can't have anything with peanut butter unless I have a glass of milk next to it.
No doubt. 100%.
A fresh peanut butter and jelly at 45 years old.
Now I'm getting hungry.
Still just as good as it was back then.
Scrap the dinner plans. That's what we're having.
That's
PB&Js
right.
for everybody.
All right, it's time to get another check of traffic. And once again, we go to Captain Paul, who's in the John Bill Roofing Traffic Center.
Heidi, no accidents, but 170 south slows down from Forest Parkway to 64. 44 west heavy between Walnut and Tucker. 64 west is slow from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker, and it's crawling from Prospect to I-70. 64 east bogs down at 170. 270 south is heavy between 64 and Manchester and around 44. 5570 west is jammed between 255 and Illinois 111, and 64 east is congested between Illinois 157 and 159. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the John Beal Roofing Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Most car shopping starts online, and lately, shoppers are spending more time at hwkia.com. Recent website reporting shows HW Kia shoppers spend nearly twice as much engaged time on the site compared to other Kia dealer websites. That means people are choosing hwkia.com instead of doing other important internet activities, like watching a guy build a swimming pool out of mud, or looking up, can my dog eat pickles? Why are they staying on hwkia.com nearly twice as long? Because there's more worth looking at. More new Kia inventory, more ways to shop, more ways to check current offers, more ways to value your trade, and more ways to find a payment that works for you. The report also shows hwkia.com shoppers are taking action and engaging through chats, texts, forums, and money-saving website events. So before you bounce from dealership to dealership, start where other shoppers are already spending more time and getting the deal they deserve. Start now at hwkia.com. Research compiled from June and July website traffic.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit cantorinjurylaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
California lawmakers are calling for an end of betting on wildfires. Why this is even a thing to start with is baffling to me. But Alex Stone, ABC News correspondent in LA, joins us with this story. Were people betting on it and then setting the fires?
Well, they're betting on it right now, and the concern is that people will start fires, or maybe already have. But these are the prediction markets where you can bet on pretty much anything, weather, politics, sports. But there's this growing marketplace that I didn't know until today was even a thing, where people can, with all the wildfires exploding, bet on where and when the next wildfire is going to be, how big it's going to be, how many homes it's going to take out, when it's going to get put out. This is appalling to a lot of people here in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on sites like Polymarket, and there's a site called Wildfire that's WYLDFYRE. They use a slogan of, you can't predict fire, but you can trade on it. And users can wager on all kinds of things on the fires and different aspects of them. This is Ann Skeet, an expert in leadership ethics at Santa Clara University, and she says this is horrible.
It's monetizing human suffering and potential harm to people.
So there's a group of senators, 7 different senators, 2 of them from California, Alex Padilla and Adam Schiff, where they are calling on these online trading platforms to stop offering betting markets tied to wildfires, saying, look, you can do everything else. Don't do it on this, where people's lives are in danger and everything else. They say $1.2 million was bet on the 2025 Palisades and Eaton fires in Los Angeles, the big ones that destroyed all the homes. And that was a year and a half ago before these prediction markets really took off. So now it'd probably be a lot more than that. But even at that amount of 1.2 million, that is 10 times more than what's being wagered on a lot of Major League Baseball games right now. So you think of sports betting, and this is bigger in many cases than that. And Skeet's saying this just sets it up for somebody starting a wildfire. If you can say it's going to be on this at this intersection at 6 o'clock tonight, and you can make a bunch of money off of it, what's stopping you from going out and not just starting the fire? And she says,
we refer to as perverse incentives when someone's motivated to do something that is not good, not serving the society. And certainly in this case, the ability to start a fire.
So the lawmakers have sent a letter to the Commodity Futures Trading Commission saying this has got to stop. But regulating polymarket, which is off the out of the bounds of the U.S., is going to be a little bit difficult. But with all of these fires that are burning, that they say that there's got to be some rules and guardrails in place. Cal Fire put out a statement saying they have safeguards in place preventing their firefighters from betting on these sites. But what's to really stop other than just trusting that firefighters or anybody else isn't going to do this, because a lot of it's anonymous, and that somebody can bet and make big money and nobody's going to know who that is. So, but this has a lot of people really surprised today that this has been going on, and there's a world that has been betting on these wildfires.
Alex, who creates the markets? Who creates the terms? Is this community? Can I jump on and create one of these things?
It's a good question. I've never bet on these sites. I believe they set the terms, and that you can choose and say it's going to be on this date in this location, but they set what the general overall topic is going to be. But I don't know for sure on that.
Alex, is there talk of basically ending betting on anything else like this? I mean, I think, Josh, wasn't there a bet on when they were going to capture somebody, talking about U.S. military? I mean, there's so many weird things.
Yeah, and then a lot of inside baseball, that's going on where people know, and within the military, Venezuela was one of them. And then inside the White House, there was a staffer that got in trouble a couple of weeks ago,
but Bob
teleprompter operator who knew what the president was going to say.
Death pools, betting on when people are going to die. This is terrible stuff.
Yeah, but you think with the death pools, unless you're going to murder somebody, typically you're not going to know that. This is as easy as starting a wildfire and then making however much you bet on it.
Well, I asked Heidi earlier, when it comes to these big fires, it always sounds like, the one up in Oregon right now or Washington was set by someone. The one last year was set by someone.
Spokane was, as well.
Are the big ones set by people, or do these naturally occur with lightning strikes or whatever?
Well, they're not normally, at least in California, Oregon, Washington, not normally lightning related, because we don't get lightning typically. That usually in high winds, quite often it's power lines coming down in the high winds, and then they start the wildfires. But the one in Spokane, that was related back, at least one of the three that was last week, was related back to an alleged arsonist who apparently had studied what day he was going to do it, when the winds were going to be the worst, and how to take out the most amount of homes in doing it. Luckily, nobody died in that fire, but it can be human caused. It can be an accident. There was one a couple of days ago here in Burbank, where I am, where it was a car crash that then sparked a wildfire when the car went into the weeds, and then the fire from the car went up the hill and started a wildfire. So it can be any number of things, but sometimes it's arson, sometimes it's power lines coming down, could be a cigarette coming out.
My question was, if we weren't here, if it was just nature, would there be wildfires?
Well, there still would be. I mean, there is lightning in places, and other ways that the things start, but typically it's going to be something related to us. They always say here in California that it's human made in some way, whether it be an accident or power lines or an arsonist, that somehow people are involved. It's not typically nature. Now, in like Wyoming, where you get thunderstorms and lightning, it can be nature and lightning. Here in California, not normally.
All right, Alex, thanks for keeping us in the know. We appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
What does the Science Center, Lambert Airport, the Magic House, McDonnell Douglas, and St. Louis firehouses all have in common? They all trusted their roof to Beatty Roofing. Beatty Roofing has been in business for 70 years. They're not storm chasers. They're based right here in St. Louis, and they've been doing it right for 70 plus years. And if you need a roofer, Beatty Roofing. In fact, first responders get an extra 10% off all roofs. 314-892-1331 or online, BeattyRoofing.com.
Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
The Big 550.
KTRS St. Louis.
News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Robert Gilman, a veteran U.S. Marine on a flight to the U.S. after being released from a Russian prison. The State Department says he was wrongfully detained. Here's ABC's Patrick Reevell.
Gilman's family have said that he was essentially mistreated psychologically and physically abused over the 4 years. They say he was force-fed drugs and deprived of food and sleep. But in recent days, they've warned that his health had severely deteriorated. He was being fed through a tube, they say, and in a dissociative stupor, saying basically he was unable to eat or speak. And they said that they feared he could die imminently, which is perhaps what has led Russia to release him now.
Gilman will receive a medical evaluation at a Texas military base. The ongoing war with Iran and attacks on vessels intensifying in the Gulf region, critical shipping waterways slowing shipments of oil and goods. New data shows Americans are struggling with costs and debt.
We owe more, and we're not paying our bills on time. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says Americans now owe $1.26 trillion on credit cards, and 12% of us are delinquent in paying even the minimum amount. The high cost of gas, groceries, and household items all contributing. One thing helping those lucky enough to own a home: equity. More people are tapping into that, figuring a refinanced mortgage at a little over 6.5% makes more sense than a credit card balance of 23%. Sherry Preston, ABC News. More than 220 people now confirmed dead following yesterday's major earthquake in western Colombia. Crews scrambling to dig through the rubble for survivors. A U.S. response team has been deployed to assist crews. Severe storms raising the risk of tornadoes and flooding from the Midwest to the East Coast. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine urging residents to stay off roads.
The odds are that we're going to have continuous problems with flooding for the next several days at least.
DeWine says the storms are blamed for at least one death. You're listening to ABC News.
The Big 550 KTRS is live, local, and so are you, which is why you should shop local. Your money stays local, creating jobs that are local, local customers in local stores. Triad Bank is also local, a big part of the St. Louis community, and has teamed up with KTRS to present Shop Local Business Salutes throughout the day. After all, we live here too. Listen for Shop Local Business Salutes, sponsored by Triad Bank. Your business, your family, your bank. And the Big 550 KTRS, live and local.
Okay, you've decided you want to get away. You want to travel. You want to see the world. Let Altair Travel and Cruises handle all the details. You handle all the fun. You don't know where to stay. You don't have to worry about transfers. What about your luggage? What about a tour guide? You don't want a tour guide. Lewis and Clark had a tour guide. You're in a different country. You want to go see the Sistine Chapel. You're going to need a tour guide. Let Altair Travel handle all those details. You handle all the fun. 314-968-9600. Altair Travel or altairtravel.com.
Listen up. If you have not paid self-employment, business, or individual taxes in years, the IRS will find you. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. I offer real solutions. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Story, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. At the Lance Story Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Land Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Good afternoon. At 5:03, it is 95 degrees under a partly sunny sky. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News. A St. Louis County man is being held on a $100,000 bond after an encounter with St. Anne police sent an officer to the hospital. Hiram Brooks faces charges of second-degree assault, resisting arrest, attempted tampering with physical evidence, and other charges. St. Anne police say that shortly before 10 p.m. on Saturday, an officer spotted Brooks on an electric scooter with no lights on, and he was speeding. After pulling him over and searching him, officers found a glass bubble-style pipe consistent with smoking methamphetamine, as well as a small keychain container. Police say Brooks smacked the container out of the officer's hand, causing methamphetamine in the container to fly into the officer's face and mouth. The officer was taken to a hospital to receive suspected drug exposure treatment. Brooks is scheduled to appear in St. Louis County Circuit Court for a bond reduction hearing on August 17th. A Florissant man will be sentenced in November after admitting to setting fires in a hotel near Ferguson last year. Brandon Smith admitted purchasing gasoline from a convenience store in March of 2025 and then using gas to ignite several fires at the hotel. 2 of the fires were set outside of hotel rooms. Hotel guests put out the fires before the fire department arrived, but the hotel was damaged. Smith pleaded guilty in U.S. District Court in St. Louis yesterday. 2 iconic St. Louis establishments have been named favorite summer destinations in Missouri. KTRS's Brendan Wiese has more.
Ted Drewes and Crown Candy have been recognized as 2 of the most nostalgic summer spots in Missouri. Advanced Funds Network surveyed over 3,000 people aged 45 and older to identify the businesses and attractions most associated with nostalgic summer memories. Ted Drewes Frozen Custard came in second from the Show Me State, while Crown Candy Kitchen was voted third. Silver Dollar City in Branson pulled down the top spot in Missouri's survey. I'm Brendan Wiese, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime on WKF.com. Taking a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune into Straight Talk on Retirement, Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. At the close, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P all down. The Dow was down 183 points to 53,792. The NASDAQ off 160 points to 26,445. And the S&P was down 25 points to 7728. Now for a check on sports and traffic with Paul Kopsky in the John Beal Roofing Traffic Center.
Vicki, the Cardinals back in action tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game series with Philadelphia at Busch. Andre Palante gets the start. The Birds fell back below 500 with last night's loss and are 4.5 games behind the Phils in the NL wildcard race. And next week, the PGA Tour arrives in St. Louis for the BMW Championship. The FedEx Cup playoffs begin this week with the tour's top 70 golfers descending upon Memphis. It will be only the top 50 going to Belle Reve. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. There's a crash on westbound Manchester Road past 270. 44 West is heavy between Walnut and Tucker. 64 West is slow from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker and from Prospect to I-70. 64 East bogs down around 170. 270 South is heavy between 64 and Manchester. 5570 West jam between 255 and Black Lane. And 64 East is congested between Illinois 157 and 159. This traffic report is brought to you by Stages St. Louis. Get your single tickets now for Stages St. Louis. Take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls, which runs through August 23rd. Then Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call 314-821-2407 or visit stagesstlouis.org. From the John Beal Roofing Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
An extreme heat warning remains in effect until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Currently, it is 95 degrees and partly sunny. It feels like 105. Partly cloudy tonight, a low in the upper 70s. Sunny tomorrow with a high of 95 and a heat index nearing 110. Currently 95 degrees at the KTRS studios at Westport. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
My college roommate said to me recently, everyone needs a good electrician on speed dial. And you know what? He's right. Ever since Michael Baldy has started advertising on the show, you know what? He's been out to the house 4, 5, 6 different times to fix all sorts of things. Good thing I got Michael Baldy on speed dial, because those things are a hazard. And it's one thing, you know how much I like to pretend to think that I'm a home improvement guy. I'll mess with plumbing and I'll mess with woodworking, but there's something I won't mess with, and that's electricity. It's too dangerous. It's too confusing, quite frankly. I know how to plug in a light bulb, but after that, it's baldyelectric.com. So for all of your electrical needs, residential, commercial, indoor, outdoor, TVs, computers, technology, baldyelectric.com. It's the place to go. You need a good electrician on speed dial. That's Michael Baldy, or baldyelectric.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Missouri lawmakers are taking the first step towards regulating AI. State Rep Colin Wellenkamp, chair of the Missouri House Future Caucus, who represents St. Charles City, is leading the announcement, and he's with us to explain what this means. Thanks for making time for us.
Thanks, Heidi. Thanks for having me on.
So you and other Missouri lawmakers met earlier today at Lindenwood University to announce upcoming legislation targeting artificial intelligence infrastructure. What does that look like?
Sure. So I led the bill along with Mike Coslow last session to create guardrails to protect Missouri communities from overconsumptive AI infrastructure, to protect our water resources and our grid integrity, and also to make sure that in the event of disasters or emergencies, that the power drain from AI infrastructure is not the first to be served, that homes, businesses, and critical public infrastructure comes first in the event of any kind of disaster or major impact. That was last year. Moving forward, we want to bring that bill back, and we want to bring it back with some more enhanced and more diverse protections for Missouri communities as the industry changes and develops. We believe that Missouri communities can benefit from the AI economy, certainly, but the public interest needs to be protected, and Missouri communities need to make sure that their water and their power are also protected.
And Colin, you kind of pointed out that that was last year, and I know during the last legislative session, Missouri lawmakers failed to pass AI regulations. What, in your opinion, was wrong with those proposals?
I think those proposals just were late in the game. You have to be early in the process. It does take time to move the policy needle for the state, as it probably should. You don't, otherwise you really get unintended consequences that are maybe going to outweigh the benefits. So it is a discernible process. You want to make sure you get lots of input and you move toward a policy that really maximizes positive outcomes. Another reason that it didn't make it across the finish line is I don't think the debate had really developed far enough where there was nearly as much impetus as there is today That's why the Future Caucus released the community engagement framework for AI also today, because that really wanted to be responsive to the needs and the wishes of Missouri communities that we've been hearing all summer that have really crescendoed over the last couple of months. And during session, that crescendo just hadn't happened yet, but now it certainly is.
So was there one instance that led to this group kind of coming together and saying, look, this is the time. We've got to do something now?
Sure. The Future Caucus was announced originally in April of 2025, so a little bit over a year ago. The Speaker of the House, John Patterson, formed the Future Caucus. He asked me to step up and be chair of it. And really its mandate is to seek out and intake persistent complex issues that are coming to the state, and we need additional capacity to evaluate. So some of the things that we've really dove into over the last 10 months or so have been insurance gaps, disaster resilience and mitigation, and restoration of communities. And of course, the AI economy is another thing that we've dove into. And that's what resulted in the legislation last session from our work in the Future Caucus and today's announcement around a evaluation framework for communities.
So when you've been digging into this, where do you end up standing when it comes to data centers?
I am 100% behind my community, my city's decision to prohibit hyperscale AI infrastructure. That is something that my community decided for itself, and I am 100% behind that. Other communities across the state are in various degrees of evaluating opportunities and solicitations from the AI industry, and they have communicated to us, the Future Caucus and members of the Future Caucus, that they really need help. They feel besieged. They feel overwhelmed. They feel victim of an opaque process that they fully don't understand and seemingly can't penetrate. And they wanted additional capacity. So instead of waiting months for the next session and relatively what's an unpredictable process around legislation, we wanted to come together and really give back to Missouri communities everything that we had learned as a caucus in diving into this issue. And that's why we released today the evaluation framework to help Missouri communities really better evaluate AI instances and infrastructure demand, things that are knocking at their door that are really hard for them to assimilate and evaluate. And we hope that this tool assists that.
Okay, I want to know more about that tool. We're talking to State Rep Colin Wellenkamp, chair of the Missouri House Future Caucus, and he represents St. Charles City. Before we get to this new tool, is this all about data centers, or is it more even about smartphones and all of the other AI that's out there?
Yeah, so it's a good question, because when you say data centers, that's just one type of AI infrastructure across an entire economy. You have transmission lines, you have conduit, you have land use implications. You've got, of course, all the water and utility implications, grid integrity and capacity flow. You've got a lot of considerations when you're dealing with all of the infrastructure and resources that go into powering an AI economy in a state or in a locality. Data centers are just one of the things. So that's why it's important that you really kind of evaluate all the things that go into it in an organized way, because it's easy to get overwhelmed by all the technicalities and the layered things that you have to consider.
And that's why it's important, the work you're trying to do, because AI is in our face. And not only is it here and happening, it's changing constantly. So to try and be able to communicate to all your counties and towns around the whole state, that's got to be a huge challenge.
It really is. And to their credit, communities really want to be in a position where they feel like they can make a credible decision for themselves on how to proceed. And maybe that decision is a moratorium. maybe that decision ultimately is no, thank you, or maybe it is yes, but and here are the qualifications. What we want to try to do is allow communities to have resources where they can negotiate and evaluate from a position of strength. And a lot of them just don't feel that way, so they end up just saying no. And I don't blame them for that. But there's a lot of communities that feel that there's benefit here, but it's really hard to unpack.
So tell us about this new tool. How can people access it, and what will it tell them?
Yeah, so it's there's a Lindenwood University is hosting the tool on their platform, and you can go to it through a link off the press release, which is on my press release website on the Missouri House, my Missouri House page. It was also sent to all the media outlets. So there's a lot of articles out there too you can capture the link to the tool. And what it is it's a detailed list of considerations from land use to water to power to retirement of infrastructure to renewable energy components to air and land pollution considerations, community benefits, preparedness questions, a lot of the myriad considerations that really may slip through the cracks or may just not be part of the initial offering from an AI company, not for this reason or that. They just aren't there, but they need to be there. And if the community doesn't ask, then those things may just never come up to the surface and remain untreated. So these are all those things that are going to impact the life of a community, but may not be front of mind or may fall through the cracks. And that's really what this is about. That is really working to empower these communities where they can come to the negotiating table. They can consider these things for themselves in a very informed, powerful way.
I feel like this is a fantastic idea. Do we have any guardrails in place at the moment?
We do. So SB 4, which was the energy bill that passed last year before, that was a whole portfolio of new utility layouts for the state. And what we did, at least for my bill, myself and Mike Koslow, is we took kind of the foundation of rate protection and utility cost controls that were in SB 4 and already enacted into law, and we added to them in order to be able to more specifically treat AI, hyperscale AI infrastructure. And then we also took those protections for grids and we overlaid them for water. And that's so that we could capture the same protections around utilities, electric utilities, capture those for water. And then we also we enhanced those protections more in order to treat things like protected well districts and make sure that if a AI infrastructure moves into a community, it's not taking more than 25% of the water supply, and put in safety provisions so that never is a community in a position of water insecurity due to AI infrastructure demand.
Awesome. Well, State Rep Colin Wellencup, we really appreciate you joining us and keeping us in the loop and informed on this. Nice job.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Great to be on.
You know, something that you need to be informed about is your HVAC system, and they're complicated. Now, you don't have to know everything. You just need to know that you need to change your filters to make sure everything is running right. And then you need to make sure you have the right team on your side. And for me, that's Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning. And I'm not alone. This is a company that's been around since 1979, and they've really earned the trust of people in the St. Louis area. Now, Adam will say, he's the owner of Indoor Comfort. Not everything is going to go perfectly, but when the job is done, it is finished perfectly. He knows his clients. He shares a cell phone with his clients because Indoor Comfort Team is small enough to truly care about what you need and make sure that you're in the air conditioning when you need to be and in the heat when you need to be. But they also are big enough to handle any and every job, which is also really cool. And there's a couple of great promotions right now. One of them is a free second opinion. So if you feel like your HVAC system is running okay, but maybe the team that you've been working with has come out and said it's time to replace it, and you're not sure, you can call Indoor Comfort Team. They'll come out and re-diagnose the system free of charge. It's a free second opinion. They'll confirm whether the repair is truly necessary, whether you really need a replacement, and they'll help you figure it out honestly. And that's really important to me. I don't want to feel like I'm being taken advantage of. An Indoor Comfort Team will make sure that you know the ins and outs. You can reach Indoor Comfort Team at 314-894-8200. That's 314-894-8200. You can also find them online at indoorcomfortteam.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
Yep. So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
Yeah, and now at Staples, save 40% on custom cards, photo gifts, wrapping paper, banners, and more.
Big news! Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. In 613, exclusions apply.
Are you looking for a deck? I am. And you know who I turn to? Outdoor Living and Pat Leahy. They've been a sponsor for a long time, and they've done some other projects for me, but this one's the big one. It's going to have metal framing, composite decking, and when it's all said and done, he's going to put a 50-year warranty on it. Not because I'm his spokesperson for all these years, but because I am a customer. Outdoor Living takes care of St. Louis. So if you're looking for a deck that will survive the heat and the winter and the sun and everything else, Outdoor Living, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. Outdoor Living, or OutdoorLivingInc.com.
As summer winds down, vacations come to an end, the kids head back to school, and schedules ramp up, let Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant do the cooking for you. So whether it's the start of a busy day, come grab a great breakfast, the best in St. Louis according to the Post-Dispatch, or wrapping things up after a long day, let Gingham's serve you a terrific home-style dinner. And don't forget our fabulous desserts. We're open 24 hours a day, so no matter when you need us, Gingham's is open and ready to serve you. Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant in St. Charles, 636-946-0266, or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883. When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Since 1974, Permajack of St. Louis has been helping residential and commercial owners protect their biggest investment. From successfully solving foundation structural problems to making sure basements remain dry, Permajack has performed tens of thousands of projects on both sides of the river, utilizing state-of-the-art technology, techniques, and equipment. Permajack of St. Louis has done it with honesty and integrity, never recommending anything outside of what you really need. For many repairs, Permajack provides a transferable life of structure warranty, all while Permajack of St. Louis has earned a BBB A+ rating and accreditation for foundation settlement, bowed or buckling walls, cracks in your foundation, walls or bricks, or basement waterproofing. Choose the hometown family-owned team at Permajack of St. Louis. Schedule your free inspection and estimate at permajackofstlewis.com. That's permajackofstlewis.com. Permajack. Solid as rock.
The 38th Midwest Salute to the Arts invites you to a 3-day outdoor arts festival at Moody Park in Fairview Heights, Illinois, August 28th through the 30th. Visitors can immerse themselves in a celebration of art, enjoy local food vendors, and a kids' creation station. Join us for new waves of contemporary outdoor sculpture exhibit in partnership with Art Village Fairview. For more information, visit MidwestSalute.com. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Discover Downstate Illinois.
529. Captain Paul is in the John Bill Roofing Traffic Center and joins us with an update on traffic. When we last talked, there was a couple of issues. What do you see now?
Well, the big one right now is an accident on 270 north south of 70. It's blocking the 3 right lanes with a bumper-to-bumper backup to Page. Estimated clearance time is 6 o'clock. 44 west is heavy between Washington and Tucker downtown. 64 west slow from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker and from Prospect to I-70. 64 east bogs down from Lindbergh all the way to Big Bend. 270 south is heavy between 64 and Manchester. 5570 west jam between 255 and Illinois 111, and 64 east is congested between Illinois 157 and 150. From the John Beal Roofing Track, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It'll be here before you know it. September. Here's a question for you. Have you ever had a luxury letdown? Let me explain. You are so excited about something. Like Mike Ward will often talk about spending $100 on a bottle of wine. And he's so leery when people do that because you're kind of let down. You think this should be better than it is. So is it maybe something like, I don't know, owning a boat? You think it's going to be so much fun and you're going to use it all the time. And then you realize you got to clean the boat and you got to store the boat. And you got to, everybody else wants to be on the boat and you're the one doing all the hard work.
So it wasn't me, but my sister had a hot tub and I thought it was so cool. So
number
cool.
one on this list that I have, by the way.
Is that right?
Hot tub is?
Yep.
And they ended up selling it. And I was like, why'd you get rid of the hot tub? And she said, well, we never used it.
Well, we like our hot tub, except that it's got a leak, so it's out of commission. But we really like it.
Yeah. It's
like swimming pools, I guess.
Yeah. They say they're fun at first, expensive to upkeep, plus they often go unused most of the year.
I think I'd be in it most of the week.
Because in the summer, you don't turn the heat on. It's nice. It's a cool, refreshing dip.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it is something a little fancier, like first-class flights. I don't know. Ooh. I think it would be pretty nice to upgrade. But that's one of these things that it's luxury that I've never done. And would you be disappointed? You get there and it's like, it's not that much better than what I used to pay for. And look at how much money I just wasted.
I like first class.
I've never.
Because it's a rarity.
Yeah.
Never flown first class, never flown business class, never
I'll wave to you when they close the curtain.
When we went on our river cruise, when Mike Ward went and I went, they were in first class, and he kind of leaned, in that space with his glass of champagne. And I'm like, yeah, one day I'll be sitting up there. I will say this made the list, and it's sitting in VIP sections at music festivals. And I do think there's something to that, because usually there's a private bathroom and you have all of those other things. That to me does not disappoint, but maybe you're at the wrong one. Maybe it didn't have all those other things.
VIP at a music festival, yeah, I'll take that. I was at Lou Fest one year. We got VIP, and the toilet that they had was like a building.
It air conditioned.
And it was air conditioned, and there was 3 toilets and 4 urinals, and the alternative was the line of porta potties.
Right.
So that's worth the price right there.
The VIP thing at what old timers call Riverport.
Yeah.
I went with Sammy Hagar with Darren Woodford.
It was fantastic.
It was really fun
and
really cool.
You get the parking, you get the spot, you're back there in a special area.
It's fun.
Michelin star restaurants is on this list, and I don't know if I've ever been to one.
I haven't.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't recall having done that.
But you ever get a really expensive meal and then you think to yourself,
wasn't that great?
Yeah,
that's a good one. I think that
wasn't as good.
That's a good one for me.
See, we went to Al's once for my birthday, and it was a pretty ridiculous bill, but it was the memory. I mean, I still think about it, like the whole thing, getting there and like being a little. There were really only maybe one other couple in the entire restaurant. It's just so quiet and secluded. It's something that I'll always remember. Like, I also recall when we went to Vegas to get married, we decided we were going to go manicures and pedicures, and we went at this very luxurious hotel, and we got the bill for that, and we're both shocked. But then when we look back on it, it was a really good time and a great memory, and that mani and pedi lasted forever.
Yeah, when it comes to food and paying a lot for food, there's a lot of food that I paid way too much for.
Yeah.
And, I was like, that wasn't that great. Or I went to this Vegas steakhouse in Caesar's Palace, and my steak was way overcooked. I ordered medium rare.
Did you send it back?
No. And, we were there with a huge group.
Yeah.
You don't
want to be that guy.
I don't want to be that guy. But then there's other things that I've eaten where, what are those, the dumplings at Sydney Street?
Oh, the veal dumplings.
The veal dumplings.
Never disappoint.
Ask Kevin, how much did I pay for these? Because I would pay double. I'd pay triple.
Funny.
These
were that good.
Good. I agree. Somebody on the text line said first class is never a waste. You arrive refreshed. You guys tell me if you've ever had a luxury letdown. Swimming pool is on the list, and specifically in-ground swimming pools. Kind of the same complaints as a hot tub, but it is really nice. And I think beautiful to look at. I enjoy just seeing that water as much as I do getting in it most of the time.
I've never owned a pool, so I don't know what goes into it.
A lot.
Chemicals and this and that and the other. But I think I would get enough use out of it. But I've had friends who have not opened their pools some summers.
Yeah.
Really?
Because it's so much work.
It depends. I'll tell you what you learn when you put in a pool. You learn a lot about how much debris trees will drop. Because you think, oh, this is a great place and we really don't have that many. And then all of a sudden trees from a street over is a cottonwood. And all of a sudden you're like, where is this coming from? We don't even have a cottonwood tree.
I really love a good shaded swimming hole.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay, Tom Sawyer.
Yeah. To Heidi's point, boy, there's a lot of skimming that needs to be done.
There is. But I will tell you, and as we talk about AI and robots and different things, you know how there's the Roomba vacuums for your house?
Oh, they have them for the pool.
They have two different kinds. They have one that will skim the top so that you don't really, I mean, you still might want to do it a little bit, but it gets everything. And then they have one that will go to the bottom of the floor and just crawls around like a little tank and picks up.
Do you have them both?
Sure do.
That's awesome. And so you have no regrets there.
No, not at all.
Hey, it's Julie Buck. Are you always struggling to find the perfect gift? Well, we have the solution for you. You can try a signature facial or a teen facial gift certificate. Have you heard about the Only Facial? They've got one in Clayton, Des Peres, Creve Coeur, Frontenac, St. Charles, Sunset Hills, U-City, Columbia, and Springfield Mo, Edwardsville, Illinois, and now open in Webster Groves and coming soon to Cottleville. This is a top-rated facial spa that only does facials, and there are no upsells and no gratuities accepted. One price for everything, and that price is $125. The signature facial consists of several steps customized to your unique skin types and concerns. The Only Facial is the best thing going. So check them out online at theonlyfacial.com. And if you're an esthetician, they're hiring at The Only Facial. Find out more about all of it on their website. It's theonlyfacial.com.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Bogus, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemariestudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemariestudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
Before you put your home on the market, before you have to pay money fixing it up to sell it, before you have to pay real estate commissions, call me. I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I will buy your home. Any property, any condition, anywhere, and always as is. Call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. You have nothing to lose when you call Robank Properties at 314-283-0867.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show, this Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
Summer is here, and it's not too late to book your next vacation or quick last-minute getaway with the travel experts at AAA Travel. AAA Travel makes vacation planning easy and stress-free with amazing deals on cruises, all-inclusive resorts, escorted tours, and family vacations. Take advantage of their great summer deals. Trips are booking up quickly, so book now to lock in better pricing and availability. Visit your local AAA Travel office or go online, AAA.com/travel.
Stay connected with the Big 550 KTRS, streaming 24/7 online at KTRS.com or on the KTRS app. Powered by JBL Financial. Stream Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
What does the Science Center, Lambert Airport, the Magic House, McDonnell Douglas, and St. Louis firehouses all have in common? They all trusted their roof to Beatty Roofing. Beatty Roofing has been in business for 70 years. They're not storm chasers. They're based right here in St. Louis, and they've been doing it right for 70 plus years. And if you need a roofer, Beatty Roofing. In fact, first responders get an extra 10% off all roofs. 314-892-1331 or online, BeattyRoofing.com.
Carney, Buck.
Wednesday on the program, I've long said this. If I got a class ring from all my high schools, I'd have my own jewelry store.
It's so true. We're going to talk to a guy who has reunited people with over 200 lost rings.
Crazy. Also, a couple of Johnnies, Johnny Londoff and our Johnny Law segment, of course.
And sports with Bob Ramsey. We'll meet you here right at noon.
John Carney, Julie Buck. Weekdays at noon on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis. To the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550. KTRS.
Let's talk a little entertainment news. Steven Spielberg edged out James Cameron for the top spot on a list of the top grossing directors of all time. I think I'd expect that. But when you enter James Cameron and Titanic...
Spielberg with the volume of films,
I think so too.
Keeps adding up.
I would think it'd be Spielberg.
That's what I said. Spielberg is on top.
He's on top.
He edged out James Cameron. Yeah.
I'm not good with the vernacular.
Oh.
It's not your first language.
But they're 1 and 2.
Yes, they're 1 and 2.
Gotcha.
Mick Jagger, did you see this? Posted a video of himself out dancing at a club under a disco ball. He is 83, by the way, but he's still got moves like Jagger.
I mean, does he have a girlfriend?
I'm sure he probably does.
Is she in her 40s?
Or 30s.
Why would she hang out with an old lady like that?
Yeah, exactly.
How dare
Come
he?
on, mate.
Didn't he just have another kid recently?
I lose track.
Yeah.
A website ranked the best movie sequels of all time. I'll start at number 10.
Okay. I got number 1, but go ahead.
Go ahead. You guess.
Aliens.
Oh,
That's number 4.
It's got to be on the list.
Yeah.
Josh?
No, it's got to be Godfather 2.
That is it.
Godfather 2.
That is absolutely it.
Number 1?
Number 1.
Okay.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day is 5. Aliens. Paddington 2.
Oh, it was pretty good.
Was it? Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back is number 2.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really count those as sequels. It's kind of like one story. Like with The Godfather, it's kind of like one story, but, you know.
It's the second part of the one story, which makes it a sequel.
Which is why you should watch them back to back.
You're still watching 2 movies.
Yeah, and it's still a sequel.
You guys ever watch The Godfather, but in chronological order?
Yeah,
They
better.
call it the Godfather Saga, where they put all the early stuff.
I think it's better.
You think it's better that way?
I do.
It's very interesting. Also on the list, you've got Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
That's better than the original.
The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Blade Runner 2049, Toy Story 2, Mad Max 2, Spider-Man 2, Kill Bill Volume 2.
I think Volume 2 is better than Volume 1.
Really? Okay. So this is interesting.
What was it? Here, let me see that list.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
We're looking now. Shuffling.
Let me see here. Oh, Star Trek. The original Star Trek was terrible.
Yeah. The Wrath of Khan is good.
Yeah. Did you mention The Dark Knight?
Mm-hmm. I did.
That's the best superhero movie of all time. The Dark Knight, the second one, with Joker, Heath Ledger.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
One sequel that will never make that list is Grease 2, even though I am a huge fan and will watch it anytime it's on.
It's great that you love it.
I know. It's a very small group of us. It's
us?
Yeah. They're a
small group
former,
of one.
a former co-worker from Channel 5. We could sing every song. Matter of fact, this weekend we were on the lake. My sister and I started singing one of the songs. She's a fan as well. Just saying.
I just read something that said the original Grease. This is a movie theory. The original Grease was Sandy's dream while she's in a coma.
Oh, people stop.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
At the end of the movie, they get in this car and then they drive it into the sky.
It's a dumb ending.
It's a fantasy.
Yeah.
I mean, when the people were singing the talking, that didn't.
No, that's
normal.
That's normal. No one was flying. At the end of the movie, they're driving into the clouds.
It's a
fantasy.
Right.
Okay.
By the way, Batman versus Superman, I think, is better.
Is better than Dark Knight?
Somebody on the text line from the 636, I love Grease 2! Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation.
You guys
Thank
could have your own little club. That'd be
Right?
cute.
Club of
Who's
two.
that guy? Where did he come from?
Was that
Who's
the person you used to work with?
No, maybe. Anyway, back to the original Grease. One of the stars just shared that she's been living in as a recluse in London. Stockard Channing wrote in a new essay, I've lived alone since I lost my partner, Daniel Gillum, in 2014. The two had been together for 25 years. And she said losing him was more devastating than she realized. It really didn't hit her until a couple of years after. And she moved. She described her morning routine as staying in bed, and then feeding your dog, maybe getting up to go to the restroom, and then getting back in bed to journal.
That's really sad, and I think a lot of couples feel that way.
That you're just
it's
lost.
really hard because that's your life.
It is. You've done everything with them.
Yep.
Chrissy Mutz from This Is Us revealed she's taken a GLP-1 after losing 100 pounds last year. She finally came to the decision after years of ineffective diet. She said, I'm not getting any younger. I'm in perimenopause, and there were obesity issues within my family and with my father, and I felt like I tried everything. Diets, therapy, none of it really worked. She also acknowledged that judgy people will have a lot to say about her decision, and she said, I'm not going to give them
Why would
any
you be against it?
attention. Just because there are people
shame.
now that are saying that this is basically making fat shaming even worse. It's a ridiculous
It is a ridiculous
thing.
position.
Yeah.
Get
but
healthy.
Absolutely. Do whatever you can to get healthy. If you want something to watch tonight, America's Got Talent. The judges' callbacks are on NBC. You've also got the 21st season premiere of Hard Knocks on HBO. Training camp is with the Seattle Seahawks. Have you guys ever watched Hard Knocks?
I have.
Do you like it?
I don't watch every season.
Yeah.
But I think typically they're pretty good.
All right. There are also a couple of WNBA games on. If you're new to this, I highly recommend Fever versus Liberty. It's on ESPN. Tip-off is at 6:30. Let's do a couple birthdays.
All right, let's start with back to comic book movies. Josh, Thor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Chris Hemsworth is how old?
I saw it earlier. I'm surprised at how young he is.
I'm going to say he is 35.
He is, what is he, 42?
You missed it. He's 43.
43.
I'm going to give it to Heidi just because you'd seen it earlier.
And still got it wrong.
Still got it wrong.
Controversial to a degree. Podcaster, maybe the king of podcasters right now, Joe Rogan. How old is he?
52.
58.
59. I'll give you that one.
He is.
And then finally, I think Heidi's going to have an edge here.
She better. She hasn't won a single one.
The gorgeous and unbelievably talented Viola Davis.
Oh, God, she is gorgeous.
Isn't she great?
62.
61.
Bang. Josh, pulled it out.
Man, that is your evening entertainment report here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Why wait to build when you can move in now? Hi, I'm Jason Hughes with TR Hughes Homes. For a limited time, save up to $30,000 on a brand new move-in ready TR Hughes home. That's right, incredible savings, no construction time, and the keys to your new home sooner than you ever imagined. But don't wait, this opportunity won't last. Discover your dream home and save big today. Visit trhughes.com for details. That's trhughes.com.
The choice of a home builder is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
However, you really should visit trhughes.com.
As we enter into the summer months, you might be thinking windows and doors. Yeah, and where are you going to go? You have lots of options when it comes to windows and doors. Let me tell you about a St. Louis company that everybody should know about. It's called wswindow.net. It's run by Larry Thornton and his son, Joe. And they've been selling windows and doors in St. Louis for 38 years. They do most of their work with a handshake and a smile. There is no high-pressure sales. There is no jacking up the prices and then try and bring you down as they demand some type of signature on the dotted line. They'll shake your hand and say, we hope to hear from you. And they have been successful. They beat the big boys at their games for all these many years because they do it right. They have long-time installers, long-time employees. The Window Store. If you need windows, if you need doors, you want a great price, and you want to keep it in the St. Louis family. That's Larry and Joe Thornton. The Window Store. wswindow.net. wswindow.net.
Dowd Bennett is proud to support the local fight against cancer. They are a proud sponsor of the 16th annual Radiothon to support the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer, a St. Louis Community Cancer Resource Center, and the only organization that brings the entire local cancer community together. Dowd Bennett also supports the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation, whose mission is to save lives by meeting the most critical needs of our communities and investing in breakthrough research to prevent and cure breast cancer.
8 minutes before 6, let's get one final check of traffic with Captain Paul and the John Bill Roofing Traffic Center.
Heidi, an accident on 270 north south of 70 is still blocking the 3 right lanes with a bumper-to-bumper backup to Page. 64 west is slow from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker and from Prospect to I-70. 64 east bogs down from McKnight to Big Bend. 5570 west is jammed between 255 and Black Lane. And 64 east is congested between between Illinois 157 and 159. From the John Beal Roofing Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Bogus, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemariestudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemariestudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
Is your job just a job and you want to work in a rewarding career? If the answer is yes, then start your journey today by becoming a union construction craft laborer. Why wait? Visit buildunion.com to learn more about becoming a union craft laborer and starting a rewarding career in the construction industry. Build a career, build a future, build a legacy. Buildunion.com for more information.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Is it time to make a change with your bank? Hi, it's Julie Buck for Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution with 2 locations, and they've been around since 2005 with a mission to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services. Here's their website. It's triadbanking.com.
Inland Marine Boats in Barnard has been serving your boating needs for 40 years. Hi, I'm Jim, and this is my son, Ryan.
Remember, you only get 18 summers with your kids. Make the most of them with a boat from Inland Marine Boats, your Mercury Marine dealer.
All right, let's wrap this Tuesday up with a couple randoms.
All right, cheese crackers are technically not squares. They're rectangles.
What? Saltines?
They're about 1 inch by 0.95 inches. So next time you eat a Cheez-It, try to figure out which side is just a little bit longer.
I don't know that I'm buying that.
I'm going to measure. I'm measuring tonight.
Please do.
Teller of Penn and Teller was born Raymond Joseph Derrickson Teller, but at some point in the 70s, he legally changed his name to just Teller.
I wonder if that was before he became famous or after.
When did Penn and Teller? Charlie, look up when
they've been around a long time.
They have.
Teller is 78 years old.
Wow.
Penn Gillette is 71.
How about that?
1975. That's what Charlie says. And then the dog that played Toto in The Wizard of Oz was paid $125 a week.
Oh, not bad.
That's almost $3,000 in today's money. And that is more than any of the human actors who played Munchkins made. Ouch.
Toto had a really good agent.
Mickey Carroll.
God rest his soul.
God rest his soul.
Toto was in more scenes.
That's true.
Mickey used to come out to Ozzy's restaurant, which is across the hall from us right now. And
He
my
was on Show Me St. Louis
friend
a
used
lot.
to, he loved being
A Munchkin.
part of that crew.
Absolutely.
But he made less.
The Lollipop Crew.
The Lollipop Guild.
Oh, yeah. But,
Guild. But he made less than the dog.
All right, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. I hope you had a little bit of fun. Hope you learned a little something. And hopefully you come back tomorrow starting at 3 o'clock. Until then, see if you can put a smile on somebody's face.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right. It's all right. Get your money.